All right, everybody, welcome back to the stream and my attempts at being able to run some straight pool balls and see if I can actually beat my personal best. Now, I actually have some special guests here with me today. I have my coach from Minnesota, Demetrius, and I believe this is his best road buddy. This is Josh. Say hello, guys.
Hey Chris, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Chris, this is Josh here. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, y'all can hear them okay. And when we switch to the actual review of when I'm going to be running, you'll actually be able to see Demetrius because he's him and Josh both are going to be commentating on what I'm going to be doing. And what's going to end up happening is these little earbuds that I have here, I'm going to be taking these out. So that way I can not hear them. You guys will be able to hopefully fully interact with them. I don't know if they're actually watching the live stream. We're kind of connected during a Zoom meeting, so I don't know if they're going to be able to address any questions. But whenever I come back to take a break and we can kind of just chit chat and stuff, then we can hopefully try to address some questions. So the reason why I asked Demetrius to join me and then he asked Josh to join is Demetrius and I actually had a long phone conversation the other day because I don't know if I feel like I'm either playing too much pool and or I'm just flat out in some sort of slump because I don't feel like I'm playing to my own expectations. And with both Josh and Demetrius being professional pool players, they travel, they play in big tournaments and stuff. I figured I would want to ask their advice. Like when I was talking to Demetrius, like what does it feel like when you reach this state, and what do you do? Demetrius, do you remember when we had that conversation?
Yeah, vividly.
Can you recap your advice that you gave to me?
Yeah, they say it's easy to get to the top, it's hard to stay there. And one of the things that happens a lot in pool is you get to playing really, really good. You're learning new things, you're working really hard, you're excited about how your game's coming together. And you're having breakthroughs and high runs. And so when you have that amount of enthusiasm and momentum and energy and breakthroughs and good things are happening, a lot of momentum, you can hit really high watermarks with your game where you just feel like this is awesome. This is how I play now. This is great. And then what happens is you forget how hard it was to make that happen. And as your expectations and you acclimate and you start expecting that from yourself, and you just think, I'm just going to grab my cue and rain racks again today. Like you don't show up with the same level of engagement and drive and focus and grit. And as soon as you come back down to earth, I guess, with as far as what kind of input you can put in for effort and focus, it's just amazing. How quickly you can fall from that new level. And so I think what I told you is just, this is a totally natural thing. It's kind of pools a little bit 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You press to a new level, you kind of crash back down. You have to and then you have to try to find a way to take that level that used to require just everything running really good. And you have to find a way to build your game to where that's just how you play. And it all comes down to consistent input and effort on every shot. Good decision, good effort, good decision, good effort, real process focused. You can't really think about expectations about what's going to happen. You just have to decide, I'm just going to fight for every ball, one shot at a time, and see where it takes me.
So that's awesome. Josh, do you have anything that you think you can add to that?
Um, yeah, I guess when you were like when I get into slumps or when I have got into feeling that way, I've always just pushed through with more energy, more effort. So like I think Demi knows that, and we've talked about it before. But yeah, I think kind of what you're doing here, you're gonna set a time limit, or you're gonna play a high volume of pool for several hours here, and try to not necessarily like you're trying to break through, but you're just kind of playing through and just determining. I'm not saying this is what you're doing right now, but I'm saying what I've done in the past is I've just determined I like the same thing where I'm not considering the result of what I'm doing. I'm just putting in that effort in that work. So I'm less focused on like how many balls I'm actually running, and more focused on just putting in that volume, those shots. So
Yeah, I think Josh, Josh and I've talked a lot about this between ourselves, and he's kind of a brute force guy where you talked about like maybe I'm playing too much pool, and Josh is kind of the guy that says, no, 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 no. That's any not to say that you're making excuses because that's not what you're doing here. You're actually doing the opposite. But what Josh says is he's like a brute force guy. He's like, you know what? You can't guarantee a 100-ball run, but you can guarantee a certain amount of attempts. You can guarantee a certain amount of hours. And so let's make the decision that we're going to just brute force this thing. And so one thing you can do is just give yourself 10 times the budget you think you need. So if you think you need to put in a certain amount of practice, or I should probably put in, half an hour a day on these shots, or I want to put in a few hours on this, like just whatever you think it's going to take, multiply it by like 10 and just say, you know what? I'll just do 10 times that much then. Forget about instead of thinking like, what's the least amount of work I could do? What's the least amount of practice I could put in on this to try to get it fixed? Or how much do I think I have to try to get it where I want to be? And I'll try to see, it's like, no, no, no. Let's just put in 10 times more volume, 10 times more effort, 10 times more attempts. And when you shoot 10 times harder at every shot, it's like, you just have to, it's just much, much, much harder. This game is very difficult, and it's much better to go in with the attitude that you're just going to bleed for everything. And then when you start catching that gear, and you start getting in the rhythm of putting in that much effort at every shot, and you start getting your mind really quiet and really focused, then there might be stretches where it doesn't feel that hard, but it becomes easy. I said this to you before. I'll say it to the viewers. Bad players treat the game like it's easy and make it get hard. And I think great players treat the game like it's really, really hard. And then if you really treat the game like it's hard, it can become easy. But it's because it's easy. It's because you're actually working really, really, really hard. And then at times when once you put in the right amount of work, there might be patches where it looks easy or even feels easy, but that's an illusion. And you have to keep your head screwed on straight and keep doing the things that gets it done.
And can I add one more thing too?
Sure.
Oh, okay, Chris. So I guess one of the things that I've done is like running. Okay. Like I used to run, and I would drag myself outside, and I would run for 3 miles, 2 miles, 4 miles. And I hated running. And I read this book about ultra running, and the guy had a lot of aches and pains. And basically he started upping his volume like 5x. Like instead of running 3 miles, he ran 10 miles. Instead of running 10 miles, he ran 20 miles. And so what happened was, it was called Born to Run. And what happened was, my experience was, I went from running 3 miles to where, within a period of time, I had put in an 18-mile run. And by the time I did that, and when I would go out, instead of running 3 miles and dragging myself around, I just would basically just gut out 9 miles or 8 miles or 10 miles. And my aches and pains kind of went away. My running aches and pains became lessened. And it was like through that process of and I enjoyed running more, and I became a better runner, instead of like a guy that was like a slogger that could plot out 2 or 3 miles and hate life when I'm on there running. I went to where I actually could put in 10 miles, and I would get that runner's high, and I would feel a lot better. And I didn't become a great runner or anything, but I became a better runner. So that I always believed like that experience I was able to put into pool. So if I was sitting there feeling like a plodding along 2 miles in my pool game, well, why don't I just go put in, like, there's days I put in like 100 games of Ghost, and it's like, it just blasted me through my feelings and my whiny voice. Or not saying that you're whining or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, we can get
I'm whining.
No, I know, man. I'm trying to but we can get that way. And it's like, to me, I've always just wanted to like just jam volume on that whiny voice. And then I kind of end up breaking through, honestly, when I've done that in the past. And because I'm not sitting there, if I have to play 8 or 10 hours of pool or 12 hours of pool in the day, which I've done multiple times, every shot is important, of course, but it's more just like, it's just, I just kind of get lost in it. Like Demi said, you just kind of zone out and get through it. And then once you go to sleep and let that download happen, then you explode off those, because you're downloading during that 12 hours, and you got to let that, you kind of don't worry about the download when it's happening over the 10 or 12 hours, the 8 hours, whatever. And then over those next days, that's when that stuff pops up and they come back into your game. That's been my experience.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I really do appreciate the two of y'all being here, and of course, I appreciate all the viewers here. You guys said you're good for about maybe an hour or so of being able to commentate on this.
Yeah, I'm good. At least an hour. I'm going to shoot for the whole thing, but I'll probably get a couple hours. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying I'll do as much as I can. Yeah, it's fun. I'm excited to be here, Chris, and this will be cool.
What I can try to do is I'll have a timer set for an hour right now. So when I play, I'll play for an hour, and then once the hour is done, I will come back. Like I mentioned before, I have earbuds in. That's how I'm able to hear them. But when I switch over to this and get ready to make my attempts, you'll be able to see Demetrius as he's watching. Josh doesn't have his camera on, which is perfectly fine, but you should be able to hear him. But I'm going to take my earbuds out, so I cannot hear them. Hopefully, they should actually be able to see the YouTube chat in the meeting that we're in. So if they do,
can you see the chat, Dan?
If they
I can't
feel
see
like
the
they
chat,
won,
Chris.
oh, you can't see it. It's probably small.
It's really small. Yeah.
Okay, so then that's fine. So
maybe,
if anything, we can
maybe
probably
what I'll
come
do,
back and look at it.
Maybe what I can do is pull up. Would it ever make sense? I could pull up another window with my YouTube and just stream live on the other window, and then just check in from now on then to see the chat. I can't watch there because I want to watch the real time, but I can pull this up and just make sure it's muted. And then let me see if
I could just type all caps. No, I'm just
then
kidding.
I see, okay, Ricky Grancy lost live. Okay. You know what? It's going to be pretty hard for me to see the chat like this. I can see, I'm just trying stuff. It would be fun if I could read the chat. Any other ideas?
Not at the moment. Like
okay, no problem. I won't die on this hill.
After the first hour or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So like I said, feel free to chat amongst yourselves, and of course viewers. Hope you enjoy the show. Here we go.
Good luck, Chris.
Sounds good. Have fun, man. All right.
So at the very least, they should be able to hear me. Like I said, I can't hear them.
All right. So this is pretty cool, Josh.
This is awesome. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
So,
well, Demi, first things first, like, we go off that side pocket break.
And as you can see, I'm off to a great start with a scratch.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying, Dan?
Yeah. So, it's hard to.
So one of the things I can tell both of them is I'm still constantly studying, like, how I'm supposed to actually hit the break ball and be able to break out the rack. So on that one there, I actually just tried to just do a center ball hit, nothing more.
He might have been a little flat for a four.
So I guess at the very least, I could probably try to add a little bit of draw to this one. That unfortunately gives my running average a pretty hard start with a score of 0.
Yeah. So what Josh is referring to, guys, is like a Derby City challenge or a lot of street pool challenges.
With a stunt shot, I'm going to put a little bit of draw on this one.
You get to actually start with the cue ball and object ball where you want it. And so most people put the object ball where the cue ball is right now and use an easier break.
That's a good break there. We could with the draw and go forward. So
yeah. So I would assume he's going to start with the 11 here, just because the alternative would be to shoot the 12 and use that as a break ball. But I don't know that you'd really want to. Generally speaking, you don't want to start breaking the balls open when they're like right now, the 13, 10, 7, all can be pocketed as they lay. Well, he's going this way.
I think he's kind of stunning though, Dem. I don't think he's going to be breaking into him too hard. He might be drawing a little bit.
We'll see.
Oh yeah. That's what you were talking about. Anyway. It's like re-breaking them when they're already pretty decent.
It's hard to argue with that though. It worked out pretty well.
I mean, yeah.
Although it's kind of funny how, like, so what I was saying though is before there was 3 balls that went.
Unfortunately, so everything's kind of blocked.
So if you could have run like the open balls that already went and then broke them open again, because what happens is when you break a cluster.
So if I had to think about a break ball right now, it's going to be the 1 ball. And I'd really like to use the 6 to set it up, but the 6 is probably the ball that I have to shoot right now.
So when you're breaking open a cluster and there's 3 open balls surrounding that cluster, the balls that you're breaking open are going to tie up with the balls that were already open. So that's what we were saying. But
what about 6 stop 9? Kind of go down into that little pack down.
that makes a lot of sense.
Don't think he's going to do that, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, this is reasonable too. Yeah,
that little 3-pack of cluster, I thought it would have been nice to get out of there because now he's kind of in a weird spot.
Yeah, maybe he could float down for the 10, and it might even have a big pocket with the sideboard with the 15.
That looks like what he's going to do.
And that opens up the same cluster. All right.
Yeah, that worked.
Sometimes it's hard just to get going. And, I'll tell you, I really applaud Chris. One thing that he's been talking about being in a slump, but to put yourself out there when you're not at your best, turn on a live stream and just start shooting balls.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
This guy has courage, man. Oh,
I
boy.
like what he did there too. He got his cue ball up and off the rail. So,
Did he get wedged where it doesn't?
No, I think he's at the
that
14.
Was actually the worst spot. I think I could have put the cue ball.
Oh, he didn't.
I don't think he did. I think he got Mickey Moused on the 13-4.
Try the 2 on the side.
He's got the 2
ball. Yeah. Okay.
Or actually 2 all the way down.
Yeah.
And this ball doesn't really lead to much either. If you float out,
well, he has the 14 if he just kind of parks between the 1 and the 4, but if he doesn't draw.
But this shot is very difficult. Elevated, shooting a ball in the corner.
Well, he hit it. Yeah, I mean,
okay. Off to a slow start. That's a 5.
He hit it so good. I thought he made it.
Yeah, and it's funny because the way he shot that 10 in the corner, he floated up like we said.
Demi and
a
Josh,
lot of times
you should see there right below the pool table is the scores that I'm keeping track of. It'll show you what my current best is for the stream, what the current score is as I'm going, what's my running average, and then of course you see the record that I'm currently trying to beat, which is 37.
Yeah, I like the way he played it, and there's not a lot of times that I'll say somebody got unlucky.
Different,
but like it kind of felt a little.
Time.
Yeah, now we're talking. This is what we're talking.
Yeah, here we go. He's maybe a little close to that ball,
and that's a little thin. Yeah,
yeah,
but okay.
A little. But this is the shot we were talking about earlier. Hey, Dem, on that sorry, something popped up on my screen. That shot that he shot for the 10 on the corner.
So this all looks well and good. I'd like to see if I can leave that 11 ball there as a break ball.
Yeah, what about the shot he shot, Josh?
I thought that he was going to shoot that a little like smoother and try to hit that window.
Yeah, well, I think that you got to pocket the ball, and I think the best speed to pocket that ball is a little bit more of a medium, soft, accelerating medium, not a firm whack.
Yep, but that seemed a little hard as all. Yeah.
Yep. But he hit a good shot, and he kind of got in a tough spot. And when you've got to start it with a 0, and now you're wedged on a ball, and you're elevated over stuff, shooting up table, it's like you haven't really settled in yet. And this is not. This is very ugly.
Yeah, that was a bad situation. Yeah.
So one thing I talk about, so
a little bit farther.
I'm gonna plug my boot camp for the viewers. Demetrius
I don't necessarily want to bridge over anything, so let me just get all my kinks out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to bank this 7 ball.
Makes sense. Nice shot. So I'm if you want to check out my website, it's mnpoolbootcamp.com. I'm sure Chris will link it in the description. But MN stands for Minnesota. So I'm a pool coach, and one thing I talk about a lot is that when you want to hold your cue ball, you want to be 3/4 full to full on the ball. But when you want to move your cue ball, you generally want to be using more of an angle.
Now I think I have to move my break ball and see if I can develop another one.
So I felt that Chris tried to move the cue ball a lot with a flat angle, and your accuracy is not as good. But okay. So let's see here. And sometimes that's what you have to do, but okay. So now I think he might even play the combo here, Josh, right? Just to get these things
get that out of the way. And then your break might end up being that is that a purple 4 ball there?
4
like
ball,
a back rack?
Yeah, I think that's a great break ball. I used to really be attached to like the traditional break ball position, but over playing straight pool, balls like where the 4 are, it's not bad, man. It's just not a bad break shot. You know what other break shot I've gotten to like more than I used to is like when the ball's kind of on the first diamond on the side rail, or like the first and a half diamond on the side rail where you can cut it down the rail and go one rail into the rack. I've actually gotten a lot better and more comfortable with that. Like, I think if you play straight pool, it's really good to like get comfortable with some non-traditional break shots.
I like how he hit that shot there. That was nice. So what is he going to try to pinch, go 9-3, come back down, or?
Yeah, you could even roll into the 13. You could shoot
like
the
maybe
9
the
and just
4
kind of
ball might have to be the break ball. If I try to hit the rack from behind.
Yeah, I see. You push it over,
looking...
push it over to the sides, and you can just kind of stop where the stop your rock right there.
Yeah, either way, you could either pitch back or just leg into it.
I think he's just going to leg into it. That's perfect.
So now the 3, and then that, I think that's the 13, and
the
then
13,
then the 10. But then the weird part is you can't go 14, 8 because the 8 doesn't pass the 4. So you'd have to kind of go. What would be cool is if you could shoot the 13. I think you got to play for the 10 next, and then you're going to have to play for the 8 maybe. It's actually a little tricky.
It got tricky here all of a sudden. Yeah.
I was hoping he could get an angle here where he could come all the way across and pick
for the 8. He's probably wide enough.
He could come all the way across, but
just
then the problem is
kind of
if you're above it though, then you're going into the 4 is the thing. So it's touchy. I think you just have to make this and try to get either really full on the 8, or you could try to get pretty full on the 14 and maybe follow 2 rails around. But then again, Josh, if you're above the 8, you're going to be going into the 4. So maybe you have to get on the 8 here.
I don't know how you get to that 14 without moving that 4. Yeah. Unless the 8 is not in the rack and he can maybe play the 8.
Let me check and see where that 8 ball's at. I think it's in the rack.
Okay.
And it is.
The other option is he could use low outside and just go 1 rail into the 8.
So there, Demi.
All right, so I guess
I'm not
that makes the 14 ball the
that would have
break
been
ball.
good to know the 8 was in the rack, before you played position there.
Yeah, so does the 8 pass the 4 in the other corner? If it does, then he's still fine here. Oh, he switched balls. Okay.
Yeah, so and this is the break ball, but I'm just saying.
No, for sure. You got yeah. But he's kind of trying to get through the first rack, and I'll tell you this is what I was talking about. That's
a nice shot there.
So that's at least 14. We got to the second rack for the first time.
So Demi, we're on this break shot. Where are you trying to hit that?
The only thing I know about this break is that I have to clip one of the corners.
No, okay.
Just to even have a shot. If I clip anywhere near the middle of the rack, the cue ball is just going to stick to it.
Yeah, so he's right. You can't hit the middle of the rack. But if we look, there's a row of 5 balls in the back. The second ball from the far left. So I don't want to hit the 5 ball. I want to use low outside and try to pull back into the 2 ball. And if you hit the 2 or the 15, you're okay.
I don't know. I feel like I want to try to draw it and clip right over here.
That's right. The 215.
Still keep coming in and get out in the open.
Because if you come straight
that,
towards
or I have
the 7,
to try to stun clip into here, but that means I'm kind of running flat into it instead of glancing off of it.
Yeah, if you go straight into the rack, you get stuck. So you have to come in at an angle at the 215. So the trick here is not to overhit this because you need the draw to take. You need to be smooth and medium speed. Now that worked, but I think that's a touch hard. Yeah. But because he ended up coming off the rail real sharp into the middle of the pack, and he got away with it. But I think you have to hit that. He hit that firm, like at a 1 to 10. That seemed like a speed
really
6.
Wasn't rewarded all that much.
I would have liked a speed 4 or 5, but I know there's a tendency to just want to force him open.
Down there.
Okay, he's got a shot. This is not a bad shot. I like hitting this with a low ball and a tip outside.
5 over there.
Oh, okay. Well, then you got to.
I can recover.
Just pop it in, I guess.
Well, then here it's just make.
Tough shot. Because you do have to get off that rail enough to get a shot at the 7, maybe.
Not so much.
Yeah. Tough. Well, he
had a good shot. I mean, I liked his speed there. That was fine.
Yeah, he didn't overhit that. So he
did. I was watching to see how amped he would be on that. He hit it. He had a good space.
Yeah, and he got through the rack. He got a break ball. He got into the rack, opened him up. Came up. I mean, it's he didn't get the easy. He had a testy shot, and sometimes a lot of times that's where runs break down is either not getting a good not getting on the break ball, not making the break ball, or not coming up with
I'll
the shot
try
after the
different
break.
breaks all through the night. I won't just use the same break over and over again.
Yeah. This one I'd like more angle, but that's okay.
I agree, but I think his balls are spreading really easy on this table. Like look at the way the ball spread. It looks like he had so he knows his table. But look at this.
True.
Does he have does the 111
All
go?
right.
What does he have here?
Yeah, he's playing a triple combo on the 111.
Let's try the 11.
Goodness.
This is not rolling good on this break. Yeah, this is a
I
bad
would have
roll.
I would have taken more time before choosing that shot, but he made it. I mean, I would have been looking around and thinking about, man, I don't know what it was, a 15 ball up table. I guess it must have laid a lot better than it looked.
It looks like it laid pretty good, Dem. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if it's dead, it's dead.
So now, what are you trying to get that 8 ball out of there, kind of, Dem?
Yeah, I think my big thing here is if you make the 3, you could go to the rail around the 1. I think you want to leg this in and go around the 1, just like this. You just got to get in control of the table. Like I don't really feel like he was in control yet, and now I think he's kind of. Now you can either shoot the 1 and bounce 1 rail out for the 8. I agree that getting on the 8 soon is the 8 ball
opens up to
blocks the
6,
9,
opens up
6.
to 9. Yeah.
But he okay.
Ooh, I might have try to pace that a little more or something. But
I think he's looking at going the 6 ball, then the 8 ball. And then the 13 might be a good break, but I personally don't pick break balls until I get those balls open. And like I honestly I just try to get the rack open before I worry too much about the break. So now it wouldn't surprise me if he goes 15, 8, and then 3 on the side. Because you got to get the 8 ball out of there soon. I don't mind him picking the 15 off while it's up there, but it's a lot of distance.
Now, yeah.
I think you just shoot the 8 with a soft stun and play for the 7 or the 3 next, maybe. Yep. Yeah, it looks like the 7. And then I wonder if the 2 goes in the side. I don't know. If there's a way to run open balls without re-breaking them, like, you know what I mean? The 2 on the side, 4 on the side. And if you could make the 2 on the side, the 4 on the side, then everything kind of goes. He's going a different route.
But this isn't bad though, Dem, because it's better. He could shoot that 13 right now and kind of, or you can shoot the 3 too, as well.
Yeah, the 4 goes in the corner. I didn't see that the 4 went in the corner. If you get on that window, you might even play the 4 pretty quick here in the corner. Yeah. This is good. But my point is, what he's doing is he's not breaking them again necessarily. He's finding pockets that they go into. Like you could play them. He tickled them open.
See, that was perfect. So now he's got the 2 as his break, but he's got to get that 10 out of there.
I think he's saving the 13 still, but
he's saving the 13. Okay.
Either way, and he might even he needs to get that 10 out, like you said, but he might need to come back off the 4 further. Boy.
Yeah, I mean he's shooting quick, which he's a quick pace player for sure.
Boy, is this a tricky shot when he's full trying to move the ball quite a bit.
I was just, and it's just like, trying to figure out the key ball and the ball before the key ball.
Maintain this ball really well, but kind of lost it there at the end.
Or the key ball.
Let's see if I can bank the 10.
Key ball kind of thing. It's like once he got it to that spot where it was open there, I think just taking a second to sort of try to come up with some sort of plan a little bit more.
And yeah, let's see this bank attempt and then.
Boy. So that's a 12.
What happened on that shot where he came up really short is he was so close to the ball. He was trying to follow and go to the end rail and back out above the 8. But when you're that close to the ball, it's really hard to get your cue ball fully following. Most of the time when you shoot a follow shot, you shoot a little softer and you have a little bit more distance between the cue ball and the object ball. And so the friction on the table allows the cue ball to develop full roll. When you're 3 inches away from the ball, shooting with pace and trying to use a firm force follow, you have to cue really, really, really high. And it's very, very difficult to get the cue ball to follow that, well. It's really a hard shot that he had to shoot there. But again, it's because your point is like, I think that he needed to get the 8 out of there real quick, a lot sooner. And I don't think that I think that you have to play your way into a rhythm. That's just and you're a faster rhythm player than I am. And you still feel that there's a few moments when he needs a little bit more time here to.
Yeah, just like as fast as I play, Demi, like I just like it's those last balls, man. Like to try to come up with
I
that.
actually have to rail first this one.
This is a big shot here, yeah.
Yeah.
Very big shot here. And he got it.
Yeah, to come up with that key ball on the ball before the key ball, just to sort of make your pattern around that.
Boy, is he taking the 5 up at the corner? I don't disagree with this. I'd probably just stun this in and cinch the ball, play for the 8.
Yeah, you shoot the 14 might go on that other side.
Yeah,
or else you got the 8.
Yeah, basically, I'm trying to make this ball. I like to get in control of the table where I feel like I'm actually in control. Up until then, I'm just trying to come with that first shot.
So he's in a similar situation. He'll get that 10 out of here next, I think.
Mm.
And then you kind of want to get that 13 off that rail too, right? Which he just did there, which is a nice shot.
He might even pick it off now. Yeah.
Yeah, because then he doesn't have to bridge over anything and he gets it out of the way. Yeah.
And I think the 6. Okay, so one other thought I have is that the 6 ball is his break ball, which means when the 6 is my break ball, I look at the balls around it, like the 14, 1, 9. And I think those are like the most biggest problems now that he's eliminated the 13.
Yep.
And so I wouldn't mind seeing him take the 4. And if the 1 passes the 14, that would be great. If not, maybe worm your way down for the 10, 15, get these balls off the bottom rail, come up and shoot the 9, 1 up table or something. Or even the 14 at the side. I mean, I know it's a little tight, but I feel that those are the biggest problems right now is the 14, 9, 1.
Yeah, you're right, Demi. That creates a bunch of congestion around that ball that you're playing to. Maybe you can.
Is he going to shoot the 3 and go into him?
Well,
I don't hate that. I mean,
it looks, yeah.
Okay, he's shooting the 7. If the 1 goes, that's different. But I don't mind leaving the 10, 15 either, because it's decent to have down there as a safety valve. If you're not shooting anything else in that pocket, it's not really in the way.
Is he going into the 14 here?
I'm okay with that. That ball needs to move. Oh no.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, this turned really tricky.
Almost backfired.
Is it 1-9 wired?
I don't know. I think the speed, I would have
kind of did really.
But okay. So sometimes when things aren't
going well, I don't think this combo goes. I think the 10 ball is blocking it.
Sometimes when things aren't going well, there's a tendency to take too many chances. I felt like that. Like, I don't mind going into the 14 there, but I think I'm going to
try it anyway. It allows me to. The whole time I've been mindful of the 6 ball.
Yeah, not shaking the dice, but just bumping it
as my break ball.
And here
looks like we have a special guest.
This cat comes in.
If you can make the 6 without scratching, I would shoot.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this.
You can't. I mean, the paramount importance is to stay at the table.
Yeah, I might even. I don't know if that strike goes past the 10
might be able to squeeze the 10.
The 6 even. I mean, even if you have to kill your break,
I can get through this opening here.
Oh, he's got an opening for the 10 rail first. Nice. We'll give it a kiss.
Oh, give him a shot. He's got a shot. Nice. All right. Well, we still have the 9-1 is kind of problematic. And if he just makes this ball, if he goes 3 rails around, nothing goes in the bottom right corner. He's got to be very careful about where he's playing shape here. Okay. I guess he's on the 7, so that's good.
Okay. Well, and the 9 and the 1 go on the other side, but I don't know if he can't get past it here. I don't think.
This is getting intense.
Well, maybe he's going to bump to 9 right now.
Yeah, but he needs a shot at the 1 then.
Well,
unless he goes through it a little bit. Yeah, that's a shot at the corner, I guess.
All right.
I'll tell you, if he can make this ball, he might still be able to get on the 9 and then the 14
and then the 6. Yeah, keep it going.
He might be okay if he could just make.
He's got to kill this thing tight.
Tendency to undercut this ball, trying to hold the cue ball, and he actually did the opposite.
Oh, not quite. That's an 11.
You know why, Josh? I said there's a tendency to undercut it because I thought he was going to hold it 1 rail, but he tried to go 2 rails back and forth. 2 rails,
yeah.
And so then there's the tendency to overcut it. So that's a steering where you're trying to move the cue ball a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's a really tough spot. I can't. I missed that ball from time to time. No big deal. I just felt like it was just a little bit running into a lot of stuff, not knowing where you're going to kind of go next. Okay, so the one time he tried to move the 14 and he hit it with speed, it got funny, and then he slammed. Then he managed to shoot the 10, shot the 15, got back in line on the 7, and then immediately goes into balls. And once again, have you noticed that every time he gets funny, it's because he goes into balls?
Yeah.
So if you're going to go into balls, it has to be like softly bumpy with a plan and some shots.
Yeah,
to play
yeah.
For.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta, like I said, shake the dice, but most of the time when you're going to balls, you kind of want to hit them at a certain pace, smooth them. That's you taught me that, Demi. Honestly, we played a ton of straight pool together, and I'm an aggro guy. You've helped me. You taught me a lot about straight pool, and that was one of the things is kind of smoothing into balls, on breakouts and things. So, and I probably still hit them, a little harder than you do at certain times, break shots and things, but you're right.
This got testy. He's gonna have to just make this ball.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, hey Chris, when you review this or whatever, like getting more angle, like when we play Demi in our first break shot, like usually we have them like nothing's touching and they're splattered. So
well, that was the first break shot where he didn't really get a very good spread. So I think you're going to see him make an adjustment. But you're okay. So, but to Josh's point,
just in general, I think it's too flat on the break shots. That's it.
He's 3/4 full. You really want to be happy.
Yeah.
But it's painful. So okay, we handle this maybe differently. But when I'm having a day where I'm just like can't get, it's really struggling. The answer for me is This is just for Demetrius, not for everybody. I slow down. I'm less optimistic. Instead of just thinking I'm just going to make this and go somewhere and shoot something, like I start like I really have to start making sure I know where I'm going to go. I slow down and I put more attention on every shot. That's it. I don't try to loosen up and freewheel through. I try to like really bear down and take nothing for granted.
Okay, I'm sorry. I agree with what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I just watched him hit that break again, and I don't mean to harp on this thing. I'm just trying to.
And I would have to think that this isn't
he can hit it
pressuring to me, knowing that
like he pounded that
Josh
break.
and Demetrius are in the background. This is just pretty much what I've been dealing with for quite a while.
All right. Like even this is a tough shot for me. He's made it every time, but okay, he's making this ball. Good shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
See, this is the kind of spread I was talking about. Like I know he's getting a decent spread, but this is the spread that you can get going on. Like if you're going to start with ball in hand, like I feel like you want this type of spread, when you get going.
No problem. I don't disagree. And this is nice. So he can pick off the 9. Now, the only thing about this, he didn't get any angle. So if he shoots the 9, he's stuck there. I mean, you could draw back for the 15, but I just, in general, when I move the cue ball, I like having angle. He's going to roll forward for the 14. I like this.
And then he's going to pop back out for the 15 or what?
He's got so much cut. You could almost come out for the 11. I think you come out for the 11 in the same.
Is that the 11? I don't know the number. The red one.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This is all I meant. This shot here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so now the 3 is obviously going to be the break. And so then the biggest challenge is the 2.
Now, the whole thing
13.
is I'd love to leave that 3 ball where it's at, but I'm not sure if I can move the 13 or the 2 out of the way without disturbing
it. 13, he has to shoot the 2.
That's right. That's what everyone's stealing my thunder. It's like, so here's what I would look at I would look at like, the 11, maybe getting on the 5 ball, maybe even playing the 6 up table, and then you can shoot the 2 in the bottom right corner. And then once you shoot that, and this is fine too, but like you don't really want to move the 13 too. You just want to get on the 2 in the bottom right corner.
And that
once you do that, the 13's open. Nothing should really be moving too much. Like even here, he's going to
push that 1 a little bit close to
and it's right back to where it was.
Exactly. And then you move the 1 in front of the 2, so now you can't shoot that
almost
shot.
got it out of the way.
Yeah. It's just funny, man. So bumping balls, I think, it's okay, I guess, but maybe the 13 goes in the bottom left.
damn, bumping balls is not okay. I mean, in straight pool, like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be bumping balls. Like, when that, like, that's it. I'm not criticizing Chris. We're just talking about straight pool, and Chris is going to watch us, and he's trying to, learn straight pool, and so we should be able to talk about it. It's like, yeah, you don't want to be bumping balls like that if you can help it, Like, that's a situation where everything was sitting pretty good. You want to be picking through a pattern where you're not touching anything.
Yeah, I just think, and especially as he goes back and watches, how many of the times that things get tough after moving balls around. Yep.
I mean,
so now I think what do you think about the 6-5 or at least the 6 ball right now?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Now, one thing I don't think, and I've talked about this with everyone, is I don't think that 4 ball is such a good key ball. I know that it's in the middle of the table, so people think, well, I could just get straight on the 4 on the side and just stop. But it's really, really hard to get straight on the 4 on the side. And if you have a little angle above it or below it, it's actually not the best key ball. So personally, I would have
no, he's got really straight.
Does he have any angles?
No,
is he going to try to do the thing where he follows? This is the same follow
from
close distance.
He might get stuck on that end rail.
I appreciate that he got off that. That's what I want to see, Chris, is that I want to see you just, if you miss, you miss, or if you, whatever, but like, this is really tough. I like that extra. When you have challenging situations, I want the effort and the focus to match the challenge. And once again,
same shot.
Yep, same shot.
Not quite what I had in mind.
But he's still alive. If he makes this, he can go up and down and maybe get on the 13 anyway. This is a tough shot though, right? You don't always have to make this ball.
Oh, great shot there.
Nice.
So Demi, do you come out 2 rails or 1 rail?
I think 2 rails here. I think if I was fuller, I think you could sink through it with a touch of inside, but here you'd have to spin it too much with inside. So his rails are really lively, so he might roll this with outside. He might stun it around. We'll see.
And you're just trying to get center table, right? Perfect.
Oh, nice shot.
That's a great shot.
Now this shot looks really hard, but you're like, you know what I mean? Like, this does not look easy to him right now.
Second time making it to rack 2.
So good recovery. How did he get jacked up over that ball, Josh? What went wrong? He was sitting really good. He shot the 4.
Yeah, he kind of floated in without leaving an angle, and he floated too far. Like, he didn't float short. He floated kind of just generally instead of like. And you said he has lively rails, so that's a thing too, right? But sometimes when you have to have an angle to get out of there, like, you'd want to be erring on the short side, not the middle long side, And that's what I think happened. I think he just kind of went in. He just kind of gave it too much. He didn't try to hold his angle enough. Maybe, I think.
Super tough shot right now. Just given the situation,
he's got it. Yeah, Chris he's a good ball pocketer, man, and player. I was confident. I would have bet that all day he made that.
I'm just saying it's a testy situation mentally to be like,
4 ball probably looks best.
Yeah, he's got a little
either the 1 or the 9
13 problem there.
Are good to set up for it. Got to break this apart and eventually break this apart.
When I look at that 7-13, I feel that you want to break them from off the end rail. And so, like, I'd love to leave that ball, whatever's this ball in the middle of the end rail, the 14. It would be great to leave them. So, like, one thing that comes to mind, Josh, is shooting the 1, rolling forward, shooting the 10 ball at the bottom left, and stunning 1 rail into the 7-13.
Yeah.
Like, or rolling, stunning or rolling
sweeping down, then you get that little 14 gap, like stop, insurance ball, you mean? Or
that's right. That's right. That's what I see.
Kind of sweep underneath, just beating the 14 with some spin.
Yeah, with a bunch of left spin. It kind of.
Maybe he'll draw over there now and do that type of shot. Yeah. Well, he's a little flat for that, but he shoot the 2 and do it.
Oh, this would be really nice if he goes 2-10 into him. So I don't know if he's going to look at that, but that's exactly where this. Let's see if he does this. He might be doing this. This would be ideal if you could go 1 rail and just bump the 7.
Don't move until you see it, Chris.
Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Fischer.
Little Josh Waitskin.
Oh,
no. This is our safety valve.
Yeah.
Maybe he can't play the shot. I don't know.
Maybe
I
it does. Maybe it misses it.
Maybe it's too thin of a window, and you got to just do this. But
go. Okay. Well, now
you have to go into it. But the problem is, Josh, if you hit the 7 full, you can double carry him into the corner. If you hit the bottom of the 13, you could get trapped if you hit the 13 full. So when you shoot this, you have to go into the side, or you have to just kind of clip them. And if you miss them, I'd rather miss them than get
miss them than you'd rather miss them than hit them full.
And not hard either. Yep, this is fine. We'll live to fight another day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was kind of hoping to at least nick those two.
I really felt that 10 was a good opportunity, but oh well.
Yeah.
He might have to go 1-6. You don't really want to shove the 4 at the 3, but you got to keep shooting. You could also shoot the 1 and come back to where he's at and shoot the stripe at the bottom left like this, and maybe. Well, he's on the 12. Okay.
Well, now I don't. Well, depends on how straight he is. Can he?
I think he's got to come back. He's got to come back and shoot these stripes at the bottom left. Is he gonna? Yeah. And then, does he have enough angle that he could drift into him? I mean, the 4 does go on the side once this 15's gone.
Those 2 are starting to turn into my biggest problem, and I'm probably going to get distracted by them.
This is almost like a kill your soldiers 8-ball situation in straight pool.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
And the more I look at it, I think the 4 ball is actually in the rack. I might have to switch to the 5 ball.
That's like a 8-ball. Everyone knows that thing, the kill your soldiers thing, or you think, Demi?
When you're playing 8-ball, if you have a problem ball, the more balls you have on the table, the more options you have. And so they say that beginners think about shooting in all their balls like it's an advantage because hey, I've got 4 balls down, 5 balls down. But really, it's a race to see who can open up their problem ball. And so when you shoot in your open balls without solving the problem, you're actually killing your own soldiers, as they say. Josh and I, we used to say that they'd, it's like we joke around, like
line them up with cigarettes.
Yeah, like we're giving them a cigar and a blindfold, and just letting them, say their last words as we execute them one by one. We've been there, Chris. We've been there. Oh, shoot.
Okay.
So, I mean, nothing goes anywhere.
Those are so ugly sitting there, man. It's just killing me.
See,
you know what?
I mean, it's like I just wish I could.
Okay,
I'm
at the
might
spot
be able
on this.
To
yes, 8 off the rail off the 13. I know it sounds
the
crazy.
8 off of the 13. That'll break them apart.
But here's the thing: is to be fair, at pocket speed. Okay, so he's got an 8-foot table with 4.5-inch pockets, and at pocket speed, the pockets play reasonably soft. Now at firm speeds, they rattle out. But if he plays this at the right speed, this is not so bad. And this is probably what I would do. It's just
I mean, that's such a good find. Like I didn't see it. Like that's awesome that he saw that.
All right, this is it.
Yeah, this is cool.
He's probably got 4 YouTube videos on how to make this ball. This is just the right speed. You got to hit this with just a smooth stop, smooth, soft. That's okay. He made it.
Oh, come on, give him some love. Oh, perfect.
Yeah. That's it, man. He's going. So now
he's got still got
13 goes. I wonder if the 13's a break ball
in the rack, right?
Yeah, I was right. The 4 ball is in the rack. I was right.
You know what?
Should have taken a closer look at that.
Does the 13 in the rack?
That makes things a bit harder now.
Yeah, because then if the 13's out of the rack, you should
set up for a 4-7 combo,
right?
Maybe.
Try
to leave the 5 ball there.
Yeah,
even leaving the 13 wouldn't be bad, but I don't have an angle to shoot the 5 because I'd run right into the 13.
I didn't even see the combo. That's not a bad idea if you can get good on it anyway. But I don't know, man. There's a little bit of space. If you don't get straight on it, it's kind of tough. But I'll tell you what, man. He's hitting them pretty good. He made that carom. He didn't get discouraged. He didn't get defeated. And this is his second rack. The only problem is when you shoot this shot, the 4 is going straight to the side rail. straight to the side rail. So you either have to snap it in to get it to the rail and out, or how are you getting a shot here?
Slow down.
Oh, there's another combo.
All right.
Or you could cross bank the 4 and try to leave yourself a break ball. I'd play the combo though. I just felt like that's where the 4 is going, and I don't know. There. One time.
There
Nice. All right.
All right.
This
Well,
is not so bad.
Not the prettiest rack that I kept alive, but it made it to the third rack.
28. We got
Yeah,
28.
we're on 28. That's awesome.
And I'll tell you the trick to this shot. Well, he's got lively enough rails. I wonder if he'll try to stun one rail at the side of the rack.
Ooh,
On my table,
that looks pretty flat for that.
I load my cue ball up with high end with spinning inside and hit it soft. So if you hit it hard with right spin, I like to go 2 rails
All
up
right.
at one.
So
and if you shoot
here's where
hard,
I
it
struggle
slides.
the most.
If you hit it hard with the
I have
follow,
kind of
it'll
a half ball
slide the
hit.
tangent line.
Bacon in with
Means
some
I might
broad,
be able to
Demi.
glance into
Crash the
this
rack.
part of the rack here, push some balls out over there, and hopefully the cue ball drags out here. I don't think I should try to inside spin 2 rails and glance over here. I think that's asking a bit much, but I'm also stretched across my table, so neither one really suits me at all.
I do like the high
Especially if I
inside
shoot
if I'm seeing the
left-handed.
angle right, because the spin adds speed for the cue ball. So you could hit it with like a medium speed, not too hard, so the cue ball doesn't slide backwards along the tangent line. You'd let the follow go through the 3 ball, spin 2 rails into the 1. However,
So he's shooting this opposite-handed, right?
Oh boy.
What a
Well,
shot.
that's a great shot.
Oh, what a-
29.
Right? Kind of,
Oh,
sort of.
Give him a shot.
whatever.
He's got the
He's got a
14
shot
in the
to
top
14
right
in the
corner. And I think the 9-8, I don't know if he could get the 14 and the 7. Well, the 4 ball's a
The
break.
4 ball
too.
goes too. You can shoot the 14, 7, 4. Stop angle.
Look at this. Come on. One, you got to make this.
I think he's
ball.
going
Come on,
forward.
Chris.
I think it'd be nice
I
to
just
just
pop
stop
it.
it right there.
Ah. Well, I tried on that one.
Did he get the
So that's a
20? Was that 29?
We're getting up
Yeah,
there now.
29.
Good run.
Not bad.
Yeah, nice.
Bad. Especially given what he had to do in that second rack. So he had a break ball his first
Got
rack
about
where
20 minutes left, and then I'll take a break.
he had those 2 balls locked up
See
and he
what
could
everybody
never
has
open
to
them up.
say.
And he just had to get through that. That was a really tough. It's just to get through it was a tough second rack. And
Yeah,
he didn't have
yeah.
the luxury of getting a break ball of his choice because he just killed his soldiers just trying to get through that cluster.
But he got him. He put down some tough shots and got there and got a break ball and hit a great opposite handed shot and got him open. So
Can't believe he shot that opposite handed.
he did, yeah.
I know he did, but I mean, look, he was flat on that ball. He had to
He powered it.
He had to like
Powered it
man,
opposite handed.
I would have had a hard time with that right-handed. All right, 1 second. Let's see his break shot here.
See this cluster with that breakdown.
This is not a good way to start. I put opposite spin on that, so I thought it would spin to the middle of the table. All right, so we'll try to bank the one back here.
Yeah, you might as well bank the 1. If you're going to make a hard shot, it might as well open everything up. That's not that bad. I'm going to, if you hit it with the right speed, that's the right speed.
Nice shot. Didn't get paid off on it, but I guess we shoot the 12.
Maybe, yeah. Just let the cue ball run around a little bit.
Yeah.
Or the 4. I mean, same story. Whichever one you like the best.
Whichever one you like. Yeah,
is
dealer's choice. Whichever one you feel more comfortable with.
Doesn't really lead anywhere. So I'd pick something that's purple. I would shoot something purple.
Something purple here.
Oh,
ooh, hit that one.
Never mind that.
Hard.
2.
That one, I think there was so much angle. Like I think hitting that at like he might have hit 8 and on a 10, and it's like hit that at a 5 or a 6, and you'd be fine.
Yeah. So what he's playing well. We don't want to mess with his confidence or but what advice would we give to him during break? Like I think that maybe just I don't know. I mean, I've seen him play enough to know that like he does prefer to snap the balls a little more aggressively than I do. Like I would never shot that ball that hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's frozen on the rail. It's just like there's just a pace, that you're going to pocket, that you're going to make that ball at, and it's probably 4, like 5's your max.
Yeah,
and you don't need it anymore. You're not playing as a break shot. You're just trying to make it. It's I wouldn't like, that's not like feedback I would give him between sets or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little more smooth on some of the shots, a little power down a little bit on some of the tougher shots. But maybe that's not true, because he does hit them pretty firm,
That's right.
Wow.
He likes to, like different people have their
break balls sitting around.
That might be like a long-term, like more of a meta thing, is to try to have them. I would say that would be my advice. Like looking back at this on some of these shots that he's powering, it needs to come down a notch or two on some of these shots, Not all of them. I mean, obviously he plays great, and
well, that's the speed you want to hit your balls. The way he just hit that.
Yeah, like he could have shot that last shot. That speed, like he'd have been perfect. His percentage of make would have went like 5x from where he shot it on that shot.
Here, I wonder if you can shoot this stripe, go into the rail, and kick the 4 out of there. Maybe that 15 doesn't pass the 12, I guess.
You want to get so here's the issue down. Like you want to get those 2 balls broken up, that 2 and that 15. So what's the quickest path there?
Well, yeah, but you're here. And so if you're going to shoot the 15, well, he's not, he's going to shoot the 8. Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying in general, you got to start thinking about that right
away.
Well,
I think that the only reasonable breakout is to get below the 6, play the 6 on the side where you can go to the end rail with a little right spin and come back.
Touch them inside and open them up on the second rail.
Yeah. So, I mean, up until then though, but the idea is like, but also the 4-14-3 is also an issue. And if you could have cleared that instead of clearing these other ones, that's all.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, it just, those are the things though. Like those balls have to go. Like if he wasn't jacked up right now, he could actually do that shot, or if he was over closer another 6 inches. But he's got.
The only thing is, if you can take the 9 and the 14-3 and then clear out the these bottom left balls,
totally fine.
What I like about that is that when you go into the 15-2, if you don't have an insurance ball, if nothing goes in the bottom left corner, so there's nothing on the middle of the table. Okay, think about it. Suppose you run into the 15 and get stuck there.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can shoot in the side or the upper left corner. So the only balls you could see are in the middle of the table. And if that bottom left corner is clogged up,
still don't have an angle
unless
for
you break. So I like shooting the combo here, cleaning out these 3 balls by this corner pockets. Like the 1 and the 11 and the 15. Yeah. Everything passes in the corner and then you shoot the 6 and go up and down into them. That's what I've been thinking this whole time.
I'm gonna play the 5.
Yeah, it's good shot down.
Like.
I think he should be drawing this though a little bit.
I think maybe he was. Maybe he was just.
Maybe he couldn't reach it that well though.
Yeah, trying to get on the 4 next or something. But I'd want that 12 out of there soon too. I'd want them both gone. I might even still take the 14. Nah, I'd take the 4. Who am I kidding? That's a good shot. I'm not going to use the bridge and nip draw the ball. What am I talking about?
What are you thinking? No, that's good. So I do think I'm going to talk about more angle on these break shots, Demi. So
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's like the number one thing that he could get into way faster, better. If he does want to play rhythm he's got to get these balls just blasting open better.
That would be the perfect angle.
He might even take this ball in the bottom right corner now to get the angle on the 12, because otherwise he's a little flat here. But okay, this is fine. He wants to get on the 6. Well, now you got to take. Okay, he's got the 1. Okay, good. So now he can create a little angle here. Okay, now he's got the shot to go.
And I was kind of hoping to push that into a break spot, but I didn't.
Well, you can follow to the end rail here on the 6. You cannot scratch because you're going to be hitting
the correct angle for this.
Yes, he does, because when you hit firm, it'll slide the tangent line. It will not go in the corner. If you hit high inside here, you can definitely hit this good.
Like that was
perfect.
Nice.
It was the perfect angle.
It was yeah. Nice.
What was that? Terrible match. Anyway, forget it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 15 might be
the 15's your break maybe now, or the 2. I don't know.
But I don't know though. It's hard not to shoot the 15 because that 13 is a very testy shot.
Yeah, this is good.
I like it because when you're watching on the screen, that 13 looks like you just shoot it in, but in real life, that's a
No,
hard shot.
I just got down to shoot it in my head, and I pulled off.
I didn't like it either. So what about two ball on the side as a break?
That's what I'm
Is that
saying. Yeah,
yeah,
two on the side. So what's the key on getting on the 15 so you get on the 2 correctly, Demi?
I think you just got to get on. I mean, right now, oh, he's saving the 11.
That's in the rack.
Oh, he looked at the playing shape for the 2. Maybe he's just hustling me. He's hustling me.
He slow rolled you.
He's okay. So, well, I would have preferred to have been on the right side. The 2 ball's a little bit now. That's where I'd prefer to be, is over on the right side. But I mean, yeah, because the problem is if you shoot the 2 on the right hand side, your tangent line leads to where you're just kind of clipping the side of the rack versus the head balls. But that being said, if you know you can draw back and get the right angle, then
1,000 times in a row, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at the corner. This ball doesn't really go in the corner.
Yeah. I wonder if he's flat enough to kind of spin 2 rails and get on that other side. Yeah, he is. I would go forward here with what he looks like he has to try to get on that side by his hand up there. What? Oh, he went in the corner though. Yeah, that didn't work.
Oh, yeah, George Fells. He has a book called Mastering
sure what I'm going to do with this one.
He just talks about certainties, and he talks about things that are basically his whole approach to straight pool is eliminating things that are uncertain. And that's why, even though the shooting the ball in the right side wasn't as good as a break ball, you know you could get on it. You know what I mean? And I don't mind what you're saying. Trust me, following the end rail up to the side rail. But I mean, you saw how much the cue ball dived. I think he was pretty straight. But okay.
Yeah, it seems like he passed through the line that he wanted, you know, like, I don't know. But I hear what you're saying. Like you could guarantee a break shot just by pinch drawing off and shooting it in the quote unquote wrong side pocket, or the less preferable. Is that that's like,
and you're right. And you'd have to be at the table to know how tough it would have been to get on the right hand side of it. But yeah. Okay. Let's see if you could put this one down. I find this
4-rail break shot. This is a 4-rail break shot.
I think 2 rails, right?
Oh, he's.
I thought I could hit the 7 ball.
Oh, I thought he's going the other direction.
I see. Man,
that was my valiant attempt.
I'll tell you what, he made the ball.
Here. Yeah, exactly. But no, I missed his angle. Yeah, 2 rails all the way. I thought he was way thinner than that.
It's a very good shot. And now he's got a 1 in 4 chance of banking the 7. He held it too much. That's okay. It's Z'd.
Might have to start calling it 2 rails up there.
Not bad though. What went wrong? So
all right, I got time for one more attempt. And that'll be an hour.
He got the breakout on that cluster on the side rail, which, by the way, that was a tough problem to deal with, Josh. Like in a straight pool rack, they have 2 balls lock up on the side, up table with nothing nearby. That was a serious problem. And he cleared out the bottom left pocket, like we were talking about. He got on the 6, went into the end rail, spun into him. Like everything was just exactly like we discussed. And then he was smart enough not to go for the 13 and risk a miss, and he cinched the 15.
I'm finding on this honestly, right here, not only am I not really getting good cue ball control, but I'm also not really even getting a good spread.
He really did well with that rack, honestly. I feel that and then he just had to take what the table left him as far as the break ball.
Into the rack, so now I'm going to draw into it.
I felt like that was one of his better runs.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That worked.
All right, that's a little better.
Yeah, still a little clustery, but I mean in the middle, but good. Better than the last one.
So now the 9 and the 2 have to go because they open up like the 5 and 3 and everything else. So I think the 8, you can lay it on the end rail and then maybe shoot the 1 and float up for the 9 next. I wouldn't want to bump anything here. I don't think. I mean, you could, but if you try to go into stuff, okay, that worked out. Those are the little, I mean, that's a reasonable gamble. Like he wasn't ever getting hooked there. So that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's a good, breakout and everything. So now we got to look at the 6, 13, 3 are the only other balls that don't really go just yet. I think the 6 does go in the bottom right once you make this, like if you shot the 7.
If you shot the 7 and stopped it or something. Yeah.
So I would not be breaking these balls,
Yeah,
but now I understand it landed where they ended up, like now they go, but like once the balls go, you gotta pick them apart.
Yeah, I would like to see more picking them apart than going into the ball so much.
Because the times it works out, it's like, oh yeah, of course it's going to work out. But then the times it doesn't, where he's like
Ooh, I
wedged
hit
on the
that one a
ball,
little too soft.
and now his break ball's going to go. But that's, you know what else?
That
I'll tell you,
changed
I'd shoot the
everything.
10.
You still
I'd
got
shoot
the
the
12.
10. Well,
Maybe
and
the 12
that's
ball now will be the break ball.
the other thing is though is that the 2-3. If you leave the 2-3, that's break ball and key ball. As I love that pairing.
Oh yeah, you do like that one on the side rail like that because you
Yeah.
got auto position there.
Yeah, you just get anywhere near full on the 2. You shoot like a little bit of a stop, pinch draw, and you can get real thin, back cut the 3, and just wedge into the rack. I love that shot.
Just smash into the rack.
Wow, that's a tough shot from that distance.
I think he's going to be saving the 12. He's going to.
So if you're going to shoot the 3, yeah, you're right. I would go 2 and then 3. Like here, you're shooting the 3 and you're going into the 2, and I don't like this. You're over the ball now. You can't shoot the 6. Well, he's okay.
He shoots the 6, but you're still kind of jacked up a little bit.
I don't like it. I mean, he did it. Okay.
Well, now I'm shooting the 7, 2, 14, 12, right?
Good. Yeah. But I just didn't like, I felt that the right order was the 3 was below the 2.
That's
I felt
not
like
what
he
he's
could
going
shoot
to do
the 2
here
first. Okay, well.
Maybe he's too thin on it.
He's got too much cut on the 7 to follow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is trouble.
Well, now
I'm supposed to get position on the 2. That's why I hit it so hard.
He's looking at hook drawing.
Arc draw and stuff.
I'd almost switch break balls and go
Straight
12, 2,
really
7 on the side.
Game.
12, 2, and then 7 on the side.
Oh, what happened? Did he call it?
He missed.
All right, so we'll take a break on that note. That's a 12.
Well, the runs have been improving. I'll tell you that.
So with that,
yeah,
that makes for 11 attempts, grand total of 15 racks, averaging only 9 points. And of the 15 racks that I did, I made 103 balls. Whew. Well, you can see the struggle. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, what's going on, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
So what do y'all think?
Hey, I'll tell you, I think that the runs have been getting better and better. I think that it started off kind of dicey and you were trying to settle in and some things weren't going your way. You kind of got wedged on some balls and funny ticky stuff was happening. But then the last several runs, man, I mean, of course you had that 30 or whatever it was, that 29 or whatever. But then even after that, that last rack, 2 racks ago, you had those 2 balls locked up on the side rail, on the top rail, and you had to get on that 6 ball and go 1 rail into them. But before that, you had to clear out the bottom left corner. Like your play has been increasing. It's been getting better and better over that hour. So that's what I want to compliment you on, shooting straight, grinding through and watching. It was really fun to see you start putting up some really, technically beautiful runs.
Thank you.
Josh?
Yeah, well, this is awesome and it's fun to watch you, Chris, and you're doing a great job and you shoot super straight, so it's really cool. I kept hammering Demi on this, or probably the guys listening, whoever's live stream watching. I'd like to see you have more angle in your break shots when you get going, and then you can smooth through it a lot softer and get a lot more separation and explosion, because you had one rack that you exploded nice, I think, when you did a side pocket break shot. And I'd like to see your rack starting like that with less clusters, because I think that would help you to get in rhythm better and to get you more dialed in, to have less clusters to deal with. So right. I kind of repeatedly saw that you didn't have enough angle on your break shots, so then you had to hit them really hard, and even when you hit them hard, they weren't coming apart nice. That's at times. So just like dramatically more angle, and maybe you're not comfortable with that right now, but in the future, if you're going to be practicing straight pool, I would get more comfortable with dramatic angle breaks to get going. So, and then when you get playing, then when you get playing, as you play more straight pool and you can get these break shots, you'll be looking for a little bit more dramatic angle break shots, and then you have more but dynamic breaks, you'll put larger numbers together. Because if you have 2 clusters to deal with on every rack versus 0 clusters, like it changes it, So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I could
so
certainly
practice it.
yeah, I could certainly try that. It's I do have a track record of those. When I leave those thin cut shots for break shots, I tend to miss the shot.
Yeah,
And then of course get the break.
yeah, it's just
well, I think the angle he's talking about. So like when you were setting up those side pocket break shots, you were setting them up really thin. So like we're not talking about like really, really thin. Like if, in other words, if the break ball's next to the rack, the cue ball could be even with the break ball, and that's plenty of angle, or even a little bit, it can even be a little bit closer to the middle of the table than the break ball, as long as you're still closer to even with it. But when you're putting your ball a foot to the left of the ball, where it's like 3/4 full, like kind of like trying to stun into the rack, it just doesn't have any power. The object ball is taking 3/4 of the speed. And so now some of those breaks, your balls separate well. So some of those breaks, the balls were opening up pretty well, but about half of them, the balls weren't opening up at all. Sometimes that rack, for example, where you had to bank the 1 to start with, and you made the bank on the 1 and broke open the cluster, but everything's tied up. And it's like, anyway, so I think what we're saying is we're not saying like you need to be back cutting it like at 80 degrees like that, but just, you don't even have to be even with the break ball, but just closer to even with the break ball as opposed to 3/4 full.
And so, you don't have to do it tonight if you're not comfortable with it, Chris. But what I would encourage you to do is to practice practice more of a cut on the break, and you'll see that you can power down dramatically, and then your ball pocketing percentage on that break shot goes up high when your power comes down, your force. So I would just say, even if it's not tonight, if you're comfortable with what you're doing, then do what you're doing and be comfortable. But I would just encourage you, if you're going to play straight pull moving forward, to like, Demi probably has a little less angle than I do on break shots, but I want the things blasting. So I'm more of a dramatic angle guy, a little bit more, or dynamic angle, like we call it. But you just need to find your happy place with it. But it needs to go, you need to be thinner on it. That's all. You need more angle. Like if you want to put up big numbers or bigger numbers, the game will get easier for you when those balls separate, Chris. That's what I'm saying. And the more you can build that habit of, while you're running, to leave yourself, if you just move it over, like Demi's saying, and as you play more, you're gonna have a lot better results.
Okay, cool. I'll definitely try to keep that in mind.
And my thought, I'm torn, of course, between not saying anything, but I'm here to shark you, so I'll shark you.
Give it to me.
You should never hit a ball hard in straight pool, like almost never. And so there's I guess you have a different swing speed preference than I do, but there's a difference between like confident, smooth, accelerating, crisp versus like kind of like a whack hard, type of shot. And so I would recommend try to keep to a medium, smooth, firm, smooth, medium speed. There was a couple of shots that really startled Josh and I with how much cue speed was involved. So that was one thing. It's just try to like have a speed limit, how hard you're going to hit the balls. Try to medium, smooth, firm. Okay. And then the only other thought was, there's been a number of times where this was earlier in the session, you were really running into balls a lot and just throwing the cue ball into open balls and tickling stuff around. And then you were getting wedged or elevated or nothing really went. And it's like, then all of a sudden it's just the number of, I would say, I think Josh and I were talking about it. If we could see you just going into the balls less, especially when they all go. Even in this last run, there was a situation where you'd done a really good job making the break, getting control of the table, opening up the pockets. And then there was this little cluster, like 3 or 4 balls. And it looked really natural that if we could get on one of the balls and pick it off, then the other 2 went in the other pocket, everything, like it looked beautiful to just run them like as they played. And you just kind of send the cue ball into them and kind of mix them around again. And it's like, when you do that, sometimes you don't need me to explain what happens. You create new clusters, or they double up and pockets gets blocked, or you send open balls into balls that were open. So I would just say, in general, I would like to see you throw your cue ball. Don't re-break balls that already go. Try to work around them a little bit more. And when you have to go into balls, don't just fling your cue ball into them and hope. See if you can't massage them open. Just like I've seen you play 8-ball. That's exactly how you play 8-ball. So I would just say play the straight pool game just like you play 8-ball. How often, Chris, when you're playing 8-ball, do you just shoot hard and blast your cue ball to a bunch of balls without having any? I've seen you play a lot of 8-ball. I've never seen you do that. So I would say play straight pool like you play 8-ball, and I think you're going to do really well.
Okay, I can definitely keep that in mind. That's not an issue there.
I think the illusion that it's like because you can shoot any ball in any pocket, there's this illusion that you're going to have a shot, and it's you've seen it. You don't always get a shot, do you? It's tough.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Okay, well then
I'm going to make good. Do you need a break? Can I give you anything? Can I get you something cold out of the fridge? I can jump on the plane. I'll be there in like 6 hours.
I can get the cat to do it for me. No, I really appreciate the information, guys. I'll certainly try to.
Well, how are you feeling, Chris?
Like I said, I think overall.
Yeah.
Oh no, so I don't feel. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not pressured by having you two watch. I feel privileged having you two watch. And then when I go back and rewatch whatever it is you guys said when I took my earbuds out, that's what I'm really looking forward to. I have a slight bit of pressure, obviously performing on a live stream.
Yeah, it's super tough.
In front of, I don't know how many, I have currently 87 people in here watching. So there's a bit of pressure there, but the pressure is also more because of my own reputation. So it's almost self-inflicting pressure. Now, I've done this plenty of times, and plenty of people have seen me crash and fall, and they've seen me rise above it and everything. So I've done the whole roller coaster ride, both on live stream and even with recorded footage. So to me, that feels somewhat normal to me. But nonetheless, the pressure is still there. I acknowledge it, and I just push through it. The thing I can say though is what I talked about with Demetrius before, is just the frustration of what I would probably call my expectation of performance, and that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to just come up here and just run 50 balls. That's not the case here, because I know this game is a little bit more strategic at that. It's just a matter of when I watch the certain shots that I miss, and I'm talking about the shots where I'm supposed to be like a good 90% chance of actually making it, and these are the 10% chances that are coming up that I'm actually missing them. Do you want to add the pressure of a live stream? Maybe so, but if I'm looking at a shot to where like I'm 75 or 60% chance of making it, because like that's just where I left myself, I'm more okay with missing that. But when I'm missing those 90% shots or higher more often, then the snowball effect really starts to kick in really badly after that.
Well, I think that you've been shooting really straight, Chris. And okay, first of all, I've already said it, and I was going to say it once you were playing, but I'll just tell you to your face. Like, people don't know how tough it is to flip on a camera and go live in front of an audience and post it on YouTube, unedited, just when you're not feeling confident, like what you're doing, and to talk about how you've played through the roller coaster and you've done it before, and being willing to accept it and look in the mirror and just be honest about where you're at, how it's going. Even, whether you love what you see or whether you don't always love what you see, it's like, that is the heart of a competitor. Like, that is the heart of a true competitor. And there's a lot of people that play this game that aren't really true competitors because they're not honest about who they are and where they are. And these are the people that record 100 sets and then post one on YouTube of their high water mark, or make, kind of like selective memory about all they block out all their bad sessions and just try to dwell on their good sessions. And you're taking this on the chin really, really well. And I don't even think you're playing bad. I think you started off rough, but I don't remember you missing a lot of 90% shots, Chris. I think in the beginning you were getting wedged on ball. You were rolling the dice too often and mixing things up a little bit and kind of being a little loose with going into stuff. And you were getting tied up and just tough shots. And the shots I remember you missing were just like running out of shots, running out of shots, or not being able to open up a certain cluster. And even if you are able to open it up, then you end up with no break ball. Like, that's the way your runs were ending, or you're not able to come up with a shot after the break ball. Like, I don't remember you just dogging a bunch of easy shots. That's not how my memory looks. So maybe that's how it feels. I think you're shooting straight. I think you should be very confident with how you're striking the balls right now.
So, yeah, Chris, I think the same, man. Like, I think that I think you're playing really well, and I think that straight pool is a very tough game. And I mean, you know, I played with Demi. Well, before I played with Demi, I played with a guy that was an awesome straight pool player, and he would just shoot my nuts off like repeatedly, and I'd have to sit in the chair and watch him shoot. I'd have to watch him put up 80s on me, and like repeatedly, like every day we'd play, he would put 70s or 80s on me, and it was awful. And I don't even know what I learned from the guy, honestly, because I just felt awful sitting there. But I'm telling you, this game is a game that takes years, Chris. And I would just say you're awesome and you're doing awesome. And like all the stuff that we're talking about, it's not to criticize you, it's to try to help you learn the game, you know? So if you go back and listen to what Demi and I were talking about, I'm maybe not perfect at how I'm giving feedback. And I'm not saying I was rough on you at all. I'm just saying, if you were to think that, I would apologize and say, my goal is to say, you know what? I was stuck at 50 for a while. And then for years and years and years, I couldn't bust 100. And it's like, it's a tough game. And so it takes a long time to really learn how to play it. And so these things that we're telling you about, the angle break on the break, and then Demi's talking about not going into clusters and balls that already go and things like that usually takes kind of like years to learn. And so this is just part of that process. And yeah,
I just want to interject, Josh. I'll let you continue, but I was going to say this game has the illusion, kind of like it's the illusion that you ought to be able to come up with a shot after a breakout. Yep. It has the illusion that it shouldn't be that hard to shoot a bunch of open balls in. And so I think the best way to run 100 balls is like get to where you feel like you ought to be running 300, and then you might eke out a 100-ball run because it's probably way harder than you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, Josh.
I agree with that analogy perfectly. It's like you feel like you should be able to go into balls repeatedly and accomplish shots, but yet that's not the way straight pool works. And it's like you feel like you should be able to run 50 at a drop of a hat or be able to get to 100, but that's not how straight pool works. It's like even when you can bust 100 and you can bust big numbers, you can still have days, hours, rack after rack after rack where you're getting stuck on stuff. But what we're talking about, and what I think that Demi talks about a lot, and what like George Fells or whoever you learned from Demi, like creating percentages, like just learning all of the percentages with this game and then sticking in those high percentage areas. And what I see with you playing, Chris, is like you're just putting yourself in low percentage spots. And it's not about your shooting, it's about your game knowledge, right? And your game management. And so that's what takes a while to learn, is those things. And so that's what I would say is like you shoot straight enough to put big numbers up, but you just have to learn the percentages of the game, I feel like. And you will, if you just are patient and you study and you take feedback, and which you're a smart guy, that's the way you're going to do it, I'm sure. But that's what the goal is here, I think, from my side and from Demi's side. And
one fun thing, and we didn't talk about this, we definitely don't have to do this tonight. One thing that might be fun to try would be like 3 or 4 runs where you put the earbuds in and Josh and I call the shots.
Yep. I was thinking the same, bro.
Oh, well, if that's the case, let's do it right now. I'll go ahead and leave the earbuds in.
This will be fun. Right. I was thinking that immediately, Demi. I'm like, let's video game this MFR. Let's see what we can do.
This should be fun. This should be fun.
Josh and I will get into a huge fight. We'll end our friendship. Chris will be like, "What's going on?" Like on a live stream.
Chris is gonna get pinned in our pattern fights. This is gonna be great.
It's gonna be like, it'll be like a marriage counselor.
Exactly.
You always do that. You always do that.
You always want to do that.
Why do you always want to pick the ball off in the corner?
All right, so this should be fun. Not distracting at all if I hear 2 people talking in my ears.
Well, now you got no pressure because we expect nothing. So
right.
let's go with that side pocket break.
Cue ball farther away.
Say again?
The cue ball farther away, Chris. You're too close. Back.
Back.
Yeah. You need. Yeah. You need to be far. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Perfect. Money.
Beautiful.
Oh, they reclustered though. That's unfortunate.
Are you clear to shoot the 1 right now?
I am not.
Okay. So let's just take a second. So what I like to do, Chris, is after a break, we got to take a minute and just kind of look. So the 12 ball goes once you're down below the rack, correct?
I can split between the 8 and the 12, and I would be able to make the 12. Yeah.
And then we would want the 7 there as a ball to shoot next. So
that would be this
it
guy.
seems like our goal is going to be to wiggle down below the rack, shoot the 12, use the 8 to maybe move something around and then kind of get on the 7. I'm not as worried about the cluster left. I'm more worried about all those balls on the left-hand side of the table. So I'd be looking to get in control of the table, coming down below the rack and picking off the 12.
And I'm worried about getting control of the table. Like, what shot do you like, Chris? That 2 ball?
2 ball right now just to start me off. And then as
That's
far as
the
getting
only-
back
yeah.
up here, I'd have to maybe use the 14, possibly to the side pocket to just to be able to get back up here. Otherwise,
are you dead straight on the 2?
No, I have a small angle.
So could you drag up for either the 1 in the corner or the 9 on the side?
I can drag up for the 9 in the corner or the 1 in the corner.
Yeah. And I think you just pull back towards the 13 a couple feet and get on something. You'll have the 14, the 9, or the 1. Good shot. Now,
Nice shot, Chris.
do we ever want him to shoot the 9 and go into the top of the rack, or is that just reckless?
I don't hate that down.
Let's do that, Chris. Let's just go. Yep.
All right.
Medium. Just never harder than medium. Medium, smooth, accelerating. It's okay
for that part.
No problem.
Yeah,
It's a touchy shot.
That was great. That was the right pace. That was a great shot, Chris.
We're getting into our rhythm.
So that's only a 2. All right.
Well, this should almost not count in terms of your numbers because
we could pull this off the
let's do this off the record, Chris, because this is kind of a gong show.
Now, for me, I'm okay with counting it because, like, to me, I look at every little bit of iteration that I'm doing here, whether it's with commentary or with sounds in my ears or whatever, because distracted or not distracted, pressure or not pressure, to me, playing is playing. And so if I can play under all these conditions, then I have no excuse. So the more I practice under these conditions, then the easier it gets.
I don't disagree. I love your attitude, Chris. You're a beast, man. Boom.
Yahtzee.
All right, so let's take a stroll around the table. You've got no reason. This is a rack where there should not be a secondary ball bump. So
okay,
I would think that it makes sense to start with the 5, drag up for the 8. I suppose the one exception would be if you went into the rail, if you bump the 6. I'm not going to get mad if you bump the 6 here. So I think that's reasonable. And if you do bump the 6, you will have a shot either. And if there's really no way to bump the 6 and not get a shot.
So my only concern is I don't see a break ball.
So later you're going to clear the 8, the 15. You're going to worm your way back around, shoot the 2, get on the 13, shoot the 13 with an angle to just nudge the 7 out. Now, if all that fails, you can always use like the 9 on the side I think you're going to be okay.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah, that's nice. So now, does the 13 pass the 15 by chance?
It does, and I'm fairly straight on it. Like I wouldn't.
Okay,
you're not going to bump the 7 just a little bit for break?
Nope.
Like with the center ball punch follow, you can't just kind of punch over into it and knock it 2 inches.
I mean, maybe, but isn't that harder than firm?
No, I mean, you don't. No. With a medium speed, if you're straight, if you're telling us you're straight, you're straight. I mean,
if you roll straight, you're going to miss the 7.
I would miss the 7. I'd have to cheat the pocket a little bit just to have a chance to bump the 7.
Okay, let's not do that then.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Shoot the? Can you shoot the 8, or is that too tough with the elevation?
I mean,
because otherwise
I can grab my bridge. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the 15. Let's just shoot the 15 then. Do we have a shot if we does what goes to the left-hand side? Nothing, right? The 6 kind of covers everything.
Let's see. So I can shoot the 6, but that means I'm going to bump into the 10. And
What if he shoots the 15 and kind of brings the cue ball back in that area where he's at?
The
I can do
problem
that.
is that okay. Yeah, fine.
He
That's
might
fine.
land on that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, I mean,
All right. So now do you want to
yeah. Is he thinking? Are you thinking about trying to get on that ball?
Yeah, you
to
shoot the 8. Yeah, shoot the 8, kind of pull back a little.
Yep.
Push a little, pull back a little.
As my dad says.
Oh, I don't think I got it.
That's fine. Just shoot the 50 or shoot the 14 on the side, I think. Or
Nope,
or
it's
wait
blocked.
a second. Would it ever make sense to shoot the 6 out? That thing's blocking everything.
All right.
Why don't we just get that out of there? Nice speed.
Great shot, Chris.
Thank you.
Do we go
Would you like getting that 15 out of there, Demi, or 9?
15's gone.
You want to give the 9?
yeah, he's talking 9-11. 9-11.
Okay.
9-11, excuse me, 9-11. Yeah.
The only thing is 9-11, 1, you know, and the other question is, would we ever want the 9 as a possible break ball?
Yeah.
Let's just pretend for a minute we can't move the 7, because I mean it's getting to be harder to get that angle. So like, what's our break ball? What would we like to use? I don't mind the 14 on the side with the 2 rails in the back of the pack, but Chris is the one shooting. The other thing is the 9
Okay.
ball and coming 1 rail into the back of the pack. That's not bad either. But then we got the 11 balls at issue. So what do you think, Josh?
What about that? Well, I mean, if that 12 was your break ball and you had the cue ball down past the 14 a few inches, you can, I mean, you shoot the 12 on the side and drag into the top of the rack. If it's,
I see that as a possibility.
12, I don't know. I'm just looking at options, or let's say yeah, either way, like if
Here's what I think.
Side.
I really think that the 9, if I had to pick a ball, I like the 9 as the break.
I just don't know how he's going to get back to the 11 is all. That's what.
Well, here's how. Let me run something by you. What if you were to shoot like the 3 ball, or what if he was to start running balls, use the 14 to get on the 11 and end with the 14, 11, 1, and then choose the 9 as a break?
Oh, okay.
Let's try that.
Yeah,
let's try saving the 14, 9, 11, 1 for last.
14
so then
if you side, dribble up for the 11, shoot the 1, and you get to, I like that, Demi. Look at you.
So let's go 3 ball, and I think we have to come back, and we can't, we want to see if we can get a shot at something else. Can you come back for like the 10 on the side or the 2 in the corner or something else? Are you dead straight?
I think he's in a bad spot for that though, Dem.
Okay,
yeah, I'm pretty straight.
Just go forward and get on the 1. Go forward and get on the 1, because then we can go 1 ball, and then we can just end with 14, 11, 9. That's fine. We don't need to save the 1. Yeah, beautiful. We got a nice half ball hit.
Nice
so now it's I think on a shot like this, I like low left, going 2 rails between the 14, 10. That way you could get on the 10 on the side, the 12 on the side. You know what I mean? Just stunning around for those balls on the left-hand side. Very nice. All right. Now, you know what? I don't know that there's any reason to save the 11. So if we don't like our angles on these balls now, we could always shoot the 11 and get on the 12 in the corner. But I know your rails are lively. It might be hard to hold. So it's up to you. Do you like your...
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Nice
shot. Yeah, it looks like the 12. And
this is,
I don't know about you.
This is developing nicely.
I like shooting 12, 10, 2, 7, 13, 14, 9, come 1 rail into the second ball on the left side, then probably playing for the ball after that into the top right corner. Okay.
All right. I think I heard 12, then 10. So I'm going to start there.
What a shot, Chris.
Beautiful shot.
That was a lot tougher than it looked. That was perfect. Again, perfect. Look at this. Great shot.
Thank you.
Hold on, Chris. Before you shoot this, hang on. Can you walk around the table and kind of map out where you'd like to end up on the 9? Just kind of figure out where you need to be on the 9 for it to be a great break.
Well, I was going to shoot the 14 into the side pocket, and I need the cue ball to drag down here so I can have the cut angle on the 9 to either go one rail behind the rack, like you said, or if I...
of course. No. I just wanted you to look. I just wanted you to go look at the 9 ball and kind of just feel out, like maybe around the spot. Is that where you're thinking? Like around where the spot is on the, up table in the kitchen line. So I just wanted you to kind of really zone in and pick your spot these last couple balls.
Okay.
Okay, good. You're good. Sorry about that.
Nope.
You're good. Looking good, Chris.
Nice job.
Right
Chris.
on the spot. Are you on the spot? Can you get the laser out and tell me?
I'm not. I'm above the spot.
This is fun. I feel like I just ran a rack. I'm a pretty good talker.
You made that look easy, Demi.
Thank you.
Nice job, Chris.
Oh man, viewers, you got to give this a thumbs up, man. If you haven't hit the like button already, I don't know how else to make this fun. All right, so the thing I know is that I cannot hit the 4 or the 11 because that's going to cause the cue ball to stick. Or actually, I can't even hit the 4 and the 6, right? Because the cue ball will stick.
I think what people do wrong here is they get too wild and they hit too hard on this shot. It's a nice smooth shot. What you want to do is stun to where between like the first and a half diamond, like I'm thinking like the first and a half diamond or like first and a quarter diamond, like right there. Like you want to stun to there with like some right spin and just let it float with a nice smooth bounce, smooth spin into the rack. Yeah, and just don't shoot this into the point. Try to create anything. Don't flail at it.
10, yeah, on the speed.
Yeah, just 5 out of 10. Just a nice little bit below center, spinning right, and just smooth. Just like that.
Like so.
Okay.
Now, sometimes you get that double carom where you end up going backwards.
Yeah.
So then you just got to try to do your best, man. Nobody expects you to make this ball. It's super tough. Just give it a chance. You got shape if you make it. So it's just give it a chance. Have fun.
Little Chris on the
it went
trigger.
in. What a shot, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so now you take an extra lap because your heart's beating fast. You got control of the table. Now we got to kind of map it out and slow down just for a moment.
Now,
so
what
we
do
know
you like, Demi, the 12 or the 1?
Well, the 1 is a mini break where it opens up to 315, whereas the 12 might open up everything. So does the 12 go?
Yes, the 12 does go.
Can you stop where that 2's at, Chris? Can you replace the 2?
Yeah, well, it's a small angle, so my cue ball will end up like right around here.
So I think you just got to roll it in and just kind of roll it in, pace it in soft.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So you want me to try to break open the clutter now? Like after
no. Hold on.
We want you to leave position for the 12 to break the cluster next.
Well, we were thinking that's what I meant. Get position on the 12 and break open the clutter now.
Yeah, we thought you meant you were going to use the 2.
No.
You were shooting the 2.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then this one here is more about a smooth high ball than it is about like power. Because here's why. You just want
your stunny shot, like a follow shot, right, Demi?
It's a high follow. Like you want your cue ball rolling, medium roll, so that it burrows through the 814. So just medium roll, smooth them open. Yep.
All right.
What a shot.
This is so good. Okay, now
that's gin.
So now we got to just calm down because I'm excited. So I got to calm down. I get excited easily. So the 15 is a really good break, but the problem is we need to clear the balls around it. And so the 1, 5 are really, really bad enemies right now. If there's a way to get on the 1-up table, I would consider it. I don't know, especially if I could do it. I don't know. What do you see here, Chris? You're at the table. You know the angle. So
do you shoot the one on the side, or is it terrible, Chris?
It's a little, it's from the.
It's there, but it's
not going anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, if anything, I can shoot the 14 and try to get better position on the 1 to go all the way down. And if I don't have the position,
I like that.
Then maybe use the 11 to get position on the 1.
Yeah, you've got backups. Yep.
Oh, well,
I rolled a little forward.
Yeah,
I think I would shoot the 11 ball. Yeah, shoot the 11 because you don't need to deal with that. Now where are we going to go though is the question.
Are we shooting the one on the corner or the side next? Corner?
You know, you could roll this in and play for the one on the side.
That's a real
okay.
It's pretty steep.
Then yeah, it's pretty steep.
What do you like here, Chris? You're at the table. What do you feel? Because I mean, this one. I think you got to be at the table to really feel good about what you're going to do. I actually don't care if you shot the 11 and went one rail at the 1. Like this is one time. I don't like moving balls, but if you hit the 1, you'll have a shot at the 15. If you don't hit the 1, you're going to have a shot at the 3. Like I wouldn't hit it hard, but if you want to smooth up into it, like I'm okay with that. What do you like? Whatever you like.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's fine. Good shot. Cool. So now, do you want to, what happens if you shoot the 3? Do you roll into the 7?
I have a cut on the 3 to where I basically can come like right through here.
What?
Okay.
Can you get what about, yeah. How
okay. What about this? What about 6, 10, 4, 8, and then it's using the 3 to pivot onto the 5?
I think that 6 is ping-ponging back and forth then.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because the 6 causes my cue ball to do this if I want to try to hold for the 10.
If you shoot the 10, are you going into that 4 or what?
I can avoid that. Like I can spin the cue ball enough to avoid it.
Where it is though, right?
No, because I will go into these if I try to do that.
Okay.
But if I go forward with inside spin, I can probably try to come back out around here.
I don't like that. That's a little weird.
Okay.
What if you just?
Well, what about shooting the 6 and going one rail across, like above the 7?
What about the 10 and just tickling the 8, like just moving it like a little bit, and you could shoot the 3 after that? That 6 is like a traveling shot to me. It's moving a lot.
Okay. The only issue I have with bumping either of these, aren't I just recluttering this area up?
No,
I'm
you're just going to
moving
bump
it like an inch or 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's. I don't know.
We're fine. We're good. He's good. Just like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we got options.
We really want to get on that 3 to move the 5 as soon as possible, I think. So maybe do we shoot the 8 and pull back a little and.
Whoops.
Well, it's okay. We've got the 4 to get.
4 to the 3.
Yeah, you don't want to be elevated, so you can shoot the 4 to get on the 3. Nice shot.
Great shot, Chris.
Thank you.
All right. So now
what are we doing now with the 1?
I think we have to pull around the 7.
Are we breaking with the 1, Dem?
Well,
I was just thinking that. Why not break with the 1?
Well, does the 15 serve as the break ball, or is it too low?
I think it's the 1 ball from here looks like a better break ball.
Sure. I was just, okay. Can you shoot the 15 right at this moment? I'm not saying that's the right shot. I'm just wondering.
Yes, and I would have to maybe get position on the 6 naturally.
No, okay, that doesn't work. So here's why. Here's why I was talking about the 50. Just hear me out. Because if we shot the 5, we could pull around the 7 ball, and at some point we could maybe even end up with 7-1 15. It's hard. We got to get these balls out of here.
We got to get them out of there. What? Don't we go 5 and draw kind of pinch back over the 7 or what next?
I would think around the 7 for the same
around
pocket.
the 7.
Yeah. Let's just start with that. We got to move the 5. So let's get the 5 and pull back around the 7.
Perfect.
And then
not perfect, but I mean, it's good.
Yeah, at this point, this is where it gets funny. Do we want to go 7? So do we want to
how much angle in the 7 do we have?
I got a bit. I got about a 3/4 ball hit.
You know what I like? What about just coming back a little bit for the 6, shooting the 6 and coming 1, 2 rails? We could either get that way we could either get on the 15.
Options.
Yeah, we could either get on the 15 off the 6 to go 2 rails. Like you could either get back towards where you're at now, shoot the 7, shoot the 6, end up with this similar type angle on the 15.
Can you get over to the 6 from here, Chris?
Yeah, he could get back to the middle because he wants an angle on the 6. So all he's got to do is draw back. And if he happens to come up short on the 6, we still have the 15. But I would be trying to get towards just past the middle of the middle's line up the table.
Okay.
Good shot.
What a shot. I mean, literally perfect.
So now I think you just come rolling ball with a touch of left, come 1, 2 rails out for the 15. And I think this is reasonable. And you could also shoot the 1. So if we get really bad on the 15, which maybe, if you shoot the 1, do you slam into the 15?
I think I will glance into it.
Okay, what if you shoot the 15 in the other pocket? Can you beat the corner? Can you beat the scratch if you cut the 15?
I will, but then my cue ball's coming all the way down here.
So, Chris, if you shoot the 15 in the corner that it's closest to, is that a makeable shot for you?
It is.
Where's the cue ball going, you think?
Cue ball's going here, and then more than likely somewhere right around here.
That's probably it then.
That's natural. I mean, if you have to smoke it and hit it, I mean, if it's going to take off, then and it's angled to come up towards the end rail even, no.
What would you do if you were playing right now by yourself, Chris?
If I was playing by myself, I'd more than likely probably shoot the 1 and try to beat the glance in the 15. The only issue I see is that I end up coming probably flat on the 15.
Could you ever get into the rack? Follow off the end rail and go into the rack?
And take ball in hand behind the head string?
Right. I'm talking options. I'm just asking, because that may sound hard, but it's no better. It's no worse than missing, so it's
right.
I think if you can make,
just trying to make sure I'm not going to hit the 15.
Yeah, the harder you hit it, the more you're going to slide the tangent line. So that's why trying to come 1 rail past all the way up table, it's going to be harder to beat the 15 compared to going softer. Okay. Well, you might have a high ball 1 railer, I guess.
Good shooting,
Yeah,
Chris.
I didn't make it. I didn't make it into the rack. That's what I was trying.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to do.
Hey, man, it's a tough game. We're at what, 28?
Yep.
So this is respectable, considering that we're both in your ear. Honestly, I mean, I'm not just saying this, Josh. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this kind of the cleanest run?
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
This is really good.
Chris is dabbing it right now.
We got the joystick, and he's okay. So then here, I think all you can do is highball 1 rail, and I think that it looks like if you hit it soft with highball, you might miss the rack, but with a nice firm stroke, you slide the tangent line. So it's like you slide towards the second diamond and arc back into it. You might even need a half tip of inside or something. I don't know. You know your angle at the table. So nice, not hard, not too hard, just a nice, smooth, accelerating swing. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. Okay, let's bank that 7 in. Let's do it.
Let's see here, because I need that. All right.
One time.
Nice run, Chris.
Good
Nice
job,
run.
Chris.
Well, 29 again, even with both of y'all commentating.
Okay, I think that was good. I think we just do one like that, and then we'll let you play.
Good.
But I really
Okay.
enjoyed that, and I think that was a beautiful 29 ball run.
Whew. All right. Then
Good
I'm gonna.
Chris.
Thank you.
Good job.
So
Chris.
I will take you guys out of my ears, and let's see if I can replicate any of that.
I wish I could read the chat. I'm curious what people are saying.
These flaming D-bags. They're calling us flaming D-bags. No, that's good.
Somebody just threw something through my window.
Hopefully the 2-7 broke apart enough there.
No, they're wedged. This is terrible. He's got nothing, man. He's gonna have to
shoot the 4-ball.
So much for that.
Yeah, the 4-ball.
Yeah, he's going for it.
I don't know, man. This is wishful thinking. Does this go? Oh man.
See, Demi, when he was playing there, he barely touched it. He did not touch a lot.
It was really good, Josh.
And he noticed that's the best I've seen him. No,
and he never hit anything hard either.
I'm like, that's the best I've seen him play. But no, I'm not. I'm just saying that was really good, man.
I see one comment I can read. I'm trying to read the comments. I see one. It said, great commentary on that rack. Even if that is the only positive feedback that we had and everything else is negative, that warms my heart to know that it's not unanimously against us.
Exactly.
Okay, so this 5-10 is locked up.
Yeah.
The 8's a good break ball, or it's reasonable. It's a little high, but not bad.
It would have been nice to leave a little angle. He could have dragged up on it now, on the 6.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So he steered it a little bit, try to create the angle.
Well, that was the right idea. I bumped it a little bit and got my position on the 11.
Thank you. I see. I can.
So that's a 4.
Unfortunately, I can barely read the comments, but I see you guys are doing a great job. So thank you very much. This is, what the other reason it's not just a positive feedback. I wish I could interact with y'all and hang out because this is fun. I'm having fun. Let me try to squint
again. We got to figure out the chat a little better.
All right.
So it says,
I do want to try another side break starter, but I will try to be more, or to give myself more of an angle.
They see
this
me
is where I run the risk of actually missing the shot.
I think
as the opener,
Chris used something amazing.
Try
I think
here.
So it kind of looks like hieroglyphics.
See, already he's pulling one more angle here. Let's see if we can do it.
This is right. I think that they had some kind of curse that whoever moves this tomb is going to be. I don't know.
We just absolutely can't. Oh, look at that. This is nice.
Bingo.
See, this is juicy.
Don't really want to end up behind the rack, but that was a better delivery and didn't require much power. That's for
okay.
Sure.
So what I do right now, Chris, if you go back and watch this, is I take a walk around the table and I figure out like the 7, 15, like the 7, 5. So I like playing this combo right now, making sure you have a shot at the 7 after this, which he didn't do. Man, okay. That was risky if the 15 locked where it didn't go. Okay.
Hey,
okay. Yeah.
I think I got to bail, man.
Okay, fine. We knew this was coming. We knew. No. You've been on here for 2 hours, bro.
I know. This is a funny. We're on vacation.
Oh man.
My wife is sleeping. Oh, he's got the 2.
Yeah, he's got the. I thought, how's that ball on the table? Look at that cue ball. It's like 60% of that cue ball's over the grid. Okay. We stopped doing that. We stopped calling his shots for 2 balls, and he's like double carrying at side pockets on us, smashing into stuff. Okay. I'm sorry, Chris. It's okay. All right, Josh, man. Yeah. Okay. We'll catch up offline. It's good to talk to you again.
Getting divorced if I don't get off this call. So,
okay.
So anyways, Chris, this was like awesome, man. So I thank you for the opportunity to get down and do some commentary on this and letting us get in your ear. That was epic, man. Well, I think we got like a 7-pack in us if we can have them do 9-ball ghost.
I just turned the 8
We'll do
ball
that
into
one
a good
next.
break ball, I think.
All right, Josh, I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, man. Have everyone have fun.
Well, my best friend. I feel like I miss him already.
Wasn't trying to bump into that.
All right. Let me get refocused on the action. Back of the saddle. What is going on? This is a testy shot, but he's got such a good straight stroke. Gosh, I really do love Chris's game.
Ah,
Little, maybe that's a little hard. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it just sometimes the shots look hard when the ball rattles. Whereas if
all
they
right,
gone,
so
it wouldn't
that's
look.
6.
Oh, am I off the camera? Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that. There we go. I'm a little close because I was trying to read the chat. Commentators curse. Yeah. I can read that. Ah, shoot. That's fine. He's got a great stroke. So. And he's been going at this for hours too. He's putting in a hell of a session. All right. Looks like the 9 on the side as the opener. Then you got to figure out the 4 would be a juicy break, but the trick then, whenever you have the break balls, the 4, figuring out how to move the balls nearest, the 15, the 6, the 1, and even that ball on the rail, which is, that's kind of the priority. So then the 2, 3 don't need to be moved. They go in the bottom left. So
I feel like I need to get the 6 out of the way.
I don't mind this at all. Shooting this ball on the side. He's following over to get more full. Is he shooting the 6 next? See, I really dislike being elevated over balls. So I'd probably shoot the 4, whatever that stripe. Okay, this is good too. He's going to shoot the ball in the corner just to clear that so he's not elevated over it. That's a reasonable strategy. I think I might pick off the ball on the rail and just dribble back and then the 6 myself because that ball's not very friendly. But if he shoots the 6, where's he going? That 7 ball looms large. Can he beat it? Can he come one rail up between the 2, 7? I guess so. Yeah, good shot. He's on the 3. You could even pick off the 8 in the corner right now while you're here. Yeah, this is really clean. So far, this run's been really clean. Now, one thing is that 15 ball's got to go. But if you can clear the 3 and the 2, then the 15 ball goes over here past the 7. Like it goes past the 2 once the 2 is gone. So I'd be looking at clearing the 3, 2, swinging around to try to use the 1 to pivot onto the 15. Okay. Oof.
Not quite.
Well, he's going long here. Let's see.
Oh, come on.
Tough shot, man. I like the run, though. The run was looking clean. And that's what I was telling Chris, you got to really focus on process.
5.
And when your processes
7.
are good, you're going to miss a couple balls here and there. I don't really worry about that too much. I like the way he's ran. That table run looked good.
Oh. I guess Josh left. So I need to fix the screen. Hold on. I just now noticed that. Let's see here.
Sorry, I was moving around on you. It's hard to sit still for hours. I'm a fidgeter.
Oh, here, let me put the earbuds back in.
I liked your last run, Chris. Even though you missed that 5 in the corner, you came up a little short for the 2. But I like the way you're moving around the table now. It's looking
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. All right.
You're prowling around the table like a hunting cat.
I'm trying. Can't help but notice the difference that if I don't have the coaching, that things are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I know that the more I practice it, the more I start to get it, and
You're awesome. You're fine.
that's pretty obvious. Okay, so that fixes that, and
I wish I could read this comment because somebody has my name, Demetrius.
oh, I can tell you. Let's see.
Yeah, read me some of the comments. I really wish I could read these comments. I'm sorry, guys.
They're saying have him put the earbud back in so you two can discuss the options because apparently I don't play as well.
Well, maybe they just found that. Maybe they just found that train wreck I'm using. It's up. Yeah, I think you're doing good. I think someone says, I think he's running into too many balls. I think that's what it says. Yeah, it's tricky. There's a very, very, very fine line, and it's easy to start tickling around too much for sure.
And this is the only other reason why I hit harder is because even for something like this, like I have no opening shot.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't really watching that close. I was trying to, but he's got the 413. I think he's going to have to pop in this combo. Yeah. I'd be making little toot noises too on this shot. Kind of gearing up. He hits good though, man. I want to be like little Chris when I grow up. Nice shot. Gosh, man, he hits him good. All right. So now I agree that what I would love to find a way to float these balls apart without like these balls don't need a big break. They just need a little nudge. Okay. So he tried a little something. Boy, if there was ever a way to does the one, even if the one goes to the side, I wonder, maybe he's looking at that next. Otherwise, like 7, 14, if you can get it on the 9 in the bottom left corner, same pocket as the 7. If you can get good off the 14 to like just soft roll it in and just tickle between those balls, I'd be okay doing that. I'd be okay shooting the 14, trying to get, you're going to be back cutting the 9 a little bit. But boy, if you could roll it in soft, you're going to hit the 8, 12, 15, everything opens. Just like this. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Oh, man. That's the right speed. So now I don't know if the 2 ball's a break ball or not. So now is the part. I think I'd probably go 6-12 right now. Get these balls off the rail. I'm assuming that the 2 is not a break ball. I'd assume that that's in the rack or it's overlapping the rack. If so, the 1 ball is not bad. Like really, if you could get to like shoot the 11 to the side with a stop shot and use the 1 as a break, cut the 1 to the side and just smash into the top 2. That's I actually think the 1 is lying pretty good.
Hey, get
from a lot of spots. So I'd be thinking 6-12 and then using the 8 to swing around for the 215 in the bottom left corner by the 8 and then worming my way back up. I don't know, just some thoughts. But these balls are definitely the least flexible. You know, in chess, they have an interesting rule Oh, strategy, I should say. When you have multiple moves you're going to make, like if you have a choice between I have to develop my knight, I have to develop my bishop, and I have to castle. If you don't know if your bishop can go in 3 different spots and your knight can go to 2 different spots, but there's only one way to castle. So if you know you're going to do all 3 moves, you choose the one that has the least options. You know you're going to castle, just castle first. And then maybe you get more information and then figure out where your knight belongs. And then maybe you get more information and you figure out where your bishop belongs. So it's like shoot the balls that are least flexible first, because like those 2 balls on the rail, we knew that. And look at this. He's doing exactly what I said. He's shot those 2 balls on the rail. Now he's going to pick up this 8, float on the other side of the 215. I would think once in a while, you could try to come 1 rail into the 15 and like see if you could kick it into a break ball spot, but that's risky. I like this. Now, once in a while, you happen to pick up the angle here and shoot the 2 and shove into the 15. But I don't think he got that angle. So he actually got a little, I would have liked to see a little farther. He's come up short a few times, and a lot of these things, it's better to go a little further than too short. This is, I think he's, well, we're going to have to find out. He's at the table. He knows. He's shooting the 15 ball. I guess the 2 ball must be a break ball, because otherwise he would shoot that now. What a shot. I can't whistle right now. I'm too dry. Nice shooting. So I'm assuming then that the 2 ball's a reasonable break, because he worked really hard to avoid it. But went in. Pocket speed. Somebody is excited that I played chess. It's funny, I can only read like a third of the comments, but certain words are visible. Well, this is perfect.
Whew. Not
Okay, I'm gonna
sure
try.
if there's going to be enough room for you to make the 2.
Hey, Josh says he's sweating the rest of this. Hey, Josh. He says he can't sleep. That's awesome. Okay, I'm trying one more time to see if I can't find a way to see these comments. Maybe on my...
Oh, I don't think I can hit it. It's too close. Oh, I don't think I have a choice. I have to try it anyway.
Okay, I think I can squint and read the comments on my phone. Okay, so here's a new run. Oh, he had a little inside. TOI like CJ Wiley. Nice. Okay, I think he's got to shoot the 4. But then where does that lead? To a long shot in the 11. You might even dribble back for the 3 next. Yeah. Good speed. See, those balls don't go if you jam them. So now he's got the 9, and then the 15 goes. And then I think that, let's see here. You might even be able to, I wouldn't even mind shooting the 9. And instead of rolling forward, I wouldn't mind shooting the 9 with like a little elevation, staying on the other side of the shot line. So when you shoot the 15, you can open the 13. What about that? I mean, you don't have to. Just a thought. You know, what's nice about this 10-8-1 cluster is that you've got 2 balls on the end rail, and those are pretty good balls. You know, the tangent line, when you have a ball laying on a rail, the tangent line leads naturally directly away from the rail. So either the 3 or the 14, the tangent line leads one rail right at the 10 ball. So there's a lot of spots where you can get on those 2 balls to separate that little 3 ball cluster. And of course, you don't want to move the 6, which is your break ball. So if you hit the 10, it's going to come off the 8 into the top of the 6. But I just don't really know a great way around that. That's why, you know, you try to like just kind of white magic, you know, and plus maybe the 10 slides over and bumps the 6, and maybe it replaces the 6 as your break ball. Who knows? I mean, you got to open them up though. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't want to be elevated. So now he can't use this as a break. He's going to have to go 14 and then use the 3, I think. I really like the idea of trying to open up that 13 ball with the 15, like get a different angle on that, because that 13-12, I know there's a playable combo there, but it's just not very flexible. So here, is he gonna try to stun into the 10 here? Or is he gonna try to, okay, he's gonna go forward for the 13, then maybe follow across on the 5 to try to go into him. Boy, this is hard to play short side shape on this ball. Yeah, I think he switched. Yeah, he switched. He went into those balls. And we knew that 6 might move. He got a little unfortunate, but I think the combo lies well enough. I'd be playing this 13-12 right now. Yep. Wow. Oh, asking, okay. Observe, then try. Not overwhelm. Any tips other than not smashing the ball? Beginning APA player. Well, I'll tell you, if you can keep to medium and soft speeds and not run into too many other balls, then I think that's a pretty good start. Yeah, I mean, I've got a billion things I could say, but it's a weird. Okay, I'll just pick one, because otherwise I could sit here and say a million things. Develop a really good low tip, and that when you shoot stun shots, you want to be able to shoot stun shots using a soft cueing, using a real lot of low ball, like a really low draw that let the low ball wear off and slide. So you keep your slide by using low as opposed to using cue speed. Like when you want to slide the ball, you have a choice between shooting firm to keep your ball sliding or cueing low to keep your ball sliding. So I'd say work on really using a low cue ball. And, a soft, I call it a soft stun, just a real low, soft sliding ball. I think it's one of the most important shots for a beginner to learn. Okay. So this 10 ball would be the best break. Much better than the 6, I would think. It's just hard to get on the 6. But I think you can leg the 8 in. Yes. And now you might just, do you slow roll this? I think either that or come across table. Okay. Yeah, because his rails are lively. It'd be hard to oh. What's my Fargo rating? Okay, fundamentals are a good start. Stance, aiming, stroke. Yep. My Fargo rating is in the 730s at the moment. So I have my days where I look really good, and then I have days where you'd think that I should stick to chess. It's a hard game though. No matter how good you are, the balls don't. Here's the thing: is the balls don't care what your Fargo rating is. So if you get to the table and don't play really good, it looks terrible. So it's a tough game. What else we got?
Oh, I forgot to put the score. That should be 28. This should be rack 3, I think, because I had that really tough opening shot that I had to blast.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And I think it's fair that I plug my boot camp one more time. Two plugs in 3 hours is reasonable. I do a 3-day pool boot camp for serious players. They come to Minnesota, stay at my house. I train with them for 3 days. I don't do less. Oh, what a shot. I don't do traditional lessons. I take players and work with them side by side until they're able to, they have the knowledge, the technique, the ability to shoot the shots and the cue ball shots I want them to be able to shoot, and then read racks and read patterns and start with simple patterns and using these tools that we developed to be able to run through, starting with open racks and then more and more challenging, working through just side by side until they can hit the shots they need to hit. They know how they work, why they work, how to play them, how to put them together, and they're running balls very smoothly. And we work on break shots and safeties and mental game. And we have 3 days to just live and dream and do pool. So if you're interested in learning more, and I don't work usually with beginners, just because 3 days is not a good fit for a beginner. You need a 3-hour lesson, not a 3-day lesson. But for players, for all you guys that are like typing in the chat, like what the right patterns are to play good, people that are like table runners and stuff, look me up on my website. It's Minnesota Pool Bootcamp. It's actually www.mnpoolbootcamp.com. And you're welcome to take your game.
All right, so I got to get to that 14 now.
Yeah, he's doing great. I wonder if 11, 14, what do we got here? Oh, cool. Someone saw the Dr. Dave video. Red Wing here. Ricky Grancy, Red Wing. Are you from Red Wing, Minnesota?
All right, that's not going to cut it. I need to roll forward.
Okay. This is high run for the night.
Okay.
Nice shot. That's a hard shot. So somebody said if they were close to Minnesota. Here's the thing, guys, is we do a 3-day boot camp. So everybody I work with flies in. I've got people, my last couple students were from Vancouver, the Bahamas. I mean, come on, plane tickets. Nah, they're cheap.
Slow down.
Oh no.
Slow down.
I do want to answer somebody else's question, but I want to wait because this is a critical moment. Oh, it's too bad. See, I hate. Okay, so I was talking about the soft stun. Had Chris used a lower tip and a softer swing to slide that ball, he might have been able to hold his angle. He used a little bit much cue speed. I know you want to make sure it stuns, but like you have to use that low tip. You can't revert the force. But does the 4 carry him off to 12? I mean, you gotta have to try something, right? Is he dead straight? Can he follow 2 rails into the bottom? What would Josh do? Oh, he got one. He got one out. I'll tell you what I like about what Chris does is he does that really long pause, and it's really really still to where you feel like the stream might have froze. Like that's a player. When you wonder if the stream froze, you know you're watching a player. Um,
12 ball right here.
Okay. All right. Tony Chohan. There's no trap that he can't escape with a kick carom.
Oh,
come on, man.
Oh gosh. I think that's a new personal best. It's 28, 30.
What if that ball
32,
had been missing and then it carried out the cue ball and timed in? That would have been the sickest thing.
All right. I'm actually going to take a break. Let me put my earbuds back in.
Yeah.
Demetrius, can you hear me?
Yeah, Chris, so that kick
Oh.
shot, so it almost, what would have been funny is the cue ball almost got in the way. What if it had timed off the cue ball? Double Kieran did off the cue ball. That was a
Yeah,
really good try,
I
man.
tell you what. Oh gosh. Like once I got too flat on that 14 and then budged that 7-ball loose. I mean, I shouldn't have got flat on the 14. I mean, that's obvious cuz like that was an obvious break ball to just really open the clutter up.
Listen, man, you shot amazing. Like that's how. Listen, I remember I read a book by Steve Mizrak when I was a kid, and he talked about he says professional players don't just run 150 balls all the time. He says if you can run 25, 30 balls and play it safe, that's a very, very good inning. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like it definitely if this were a 2-player game, I mean, that's
Yeah, you
no
would have
different
run.
than playing the Ghost, right? You don't have a shot, you normally would just play safe, but you can't do
Yeah,
that
you would have
against
had
the
a.
Ghost.
Yeah, you would have had a 34 ball run with a safety. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
Before I forget, I want to just answer one or two quick questions in the chat. Somebody
Sure.
had asked where I am in Minneapolis. No, they asked me where I am in Minnesota. I'm in Minneapolis area. I'm actually in Robbinsdale, but I could hit Minneapolis, with a stone here. But I'm near the airport. So, and people are talking about geography. If they fly in, I can scoop them at the airport. It's no problem. I'm very close. And then there was one other question. Oh, somebody had asked me about if a 420 would be a right fit for my boot camp. And here's what I think. I think that I think that the best speed would be like, if not 500, knocking on the door 500. But here's the thing: is I want to work with people. So if you're 420, I think you should reach out to me and I should talk to you by phone. And maybe there's some things I could do. I could watch a video of you play. We could talk a little bit. Maybe I could do some like remote things that just kind of help nudge you in the right direction. Because I really feel like anybody that's serious about pool, that has a little bit of time to put in and practice and compete, I think closing the gap from 420 to 480 shouldn't take all that long if you want it. So I'd be willing, if somebody's like 400 plus Fargo and they want to talk to me, if there's something I could do to groom you into a potential for a 3-day, I think I'd be willing to do that. So look me up on my website, mnpoolbootcamp.com. Shoot me an email, info at, and then let's talk. But probably a little soon, but it wouldn't be hard to build that direction. So, okay. But Chris, back to you. What do you feel, man? How do you feel about that? How do you feel things were going?
Well, right now, this is where I can actually say that even though I'm not beating, I said personal best. Whoa, that didn't work out.
Like I feel like I'm in the chocolate factory. Some weird. Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work out at all. I was trying to put both of us on the screen, and actually now I know why that did that. What I can say is that even though I I'm not, I said personal best. I should have meant current best because 37 is my personal best right now with this series that I'm doing, and the current best that I just ended so far was 34. So what I can say is that even though um, I'm not beating my current personal best, I actually do like the way that I'm shooting right now.
I agree. I agree.
In comparison to what I was doing before. Whoops. Let's not do that. So as long as I can keep that up before the stream ends, let's see how this looks. Actually, this is probably not going to work. Well, let's see anyway. There we go. I mean, it's not the not the best of things. So I'm trying to fix all this on the fly instead of having this as prepared. Yeah. So after I think you hit home for me with the certain shots to where like I know for a fact that any time that I try to do something with the cue ball, which means I'm basically coming up with some sort of heroic shot, the accuracy just falls like dramatically. And if I make it, it turns in. If I make it, it turns into a hero shot that probably looks good for spectators watching and stuff like that. But I do say that if I'm having to do those on a consistent basis, then I'm not really playing good pool, because good pool should look easy. It should almost look boring. And like when you and Josh were in my ear saying, choose this ball, shoot this way, it felt very easy. And it felt to the point to where if I miss a shot, that's because I missed. I mean, and misses are going to happen. And I would rather miss under those conditions than miss because I'm trying to make something happen. Because I would rather not be in the position where I was trying to make something happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when you're I've noticed, for me, I've played a lot of straight pool, and when my confidence is low and I'm impatient and I'm frustrated, that leaves me to take too many chances, because I feel like the only way I'm going to get a decent run going is if things go my way. So let's just take some chances and take some shots and move the balls, and hopefully some things just kind of go my way. And it's like the opposite happens, where I get wedged and nothing goes my way. But when I just instead really just don't take any chances, that it goes well. One of the last runs, I think it might have been the last run you did, I really feel that the quality of the runs were really, really good at the end. I like the run that we did together. I thought that was a really clean 29. And that run at the end, there was one where you had two balls on the left-hand side rail, one above the side, one below the side. You had the 8 ball diagonally out from the bottom left corner as we look at the table. And then you had like the 2-4 that went in the same pocket once the 8 was gone. And I was like, man, I think I'd clear those 2 balls on the side rail, maybe pivot around with the 8, swing around the other side of that 2-4 or whatever the heck those 2 ball. And you did. And then you got like a little bit short. It got a little thin and had to, I think it was the 15. You had to cut the 15 in from a little thin. It was like near the spot. But the point is that like you started playing the patterns like exactly the way I would have. Not to say that I'm right and then you're a genius, but just in the sense that you were eliminating the balls that needed to clear first. You were prioritizing the problem balls, opening up, instead of moving balls, you were opening up pockets to allow those other balls to clear, and then just getting on the tough balls, getting on the balls that opened up the avenues for those other tough balls, swinging around, dealing with them, natural shots, nothing crazy, no hard speeds, no smashing into stuff. It was really, really clean. Like those runs were like Thorsten Holman clean at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I can say that people are saying that our heads looked a little stretched, so I'm trying to fix
I
them.
think their heads looked a little stretched. Oh, I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Actually, I think this is the best I can do.
It's fine. I actually look worse in real life. So.
Yeah, this will just have to do for now. Because I think I'm gonna make it worse if I try moving stuff around. But yeah, so like I think I know for a fact at the very least I have to be able to take what I know and then take what I'm hearing. Just speaking of which, have you tried plugging your boot camp whenever I'm away?
I mentioned it twice. I didn't want to I forgot, and I don't like to talk about it too much, but I mentioned it at the beginning and I just mentioned it here towards the end. So
okay, cool. Because everybody should know that I've been to his boot camp, and it's well worth it for me. The thing that you have to ask yourself, and that's I would have to think that anything that you would spend money on is what is it worth for you. So for me, as a competitive pool player, I mean, I play in pool tournaments. I gamble a little. I don't gamble to try to break anybody's pockets. It's just something to keep it friendly, competitive, and stuff. And so any amount of money that I've invested into Demetrius's boot camp, it's a long-term investment for my own return on investment. Because if I can take the information that Demetrius has given me through his boot camps, apply it to my tournaments, apply it to my game and stuff like that, then tournament winnings, gambling winnings and stuff, all of that eventually rolls itself back around to where I either break even or I start making a profit. Like I said, I currently feel like I'm in a bit of a slump. My Fargo has dropped from a 640 to a 636. So, and I saw that basically was because of the tournament that I said that I played this past Saturday, where I actually started to started like I was getting sick. I feel like I'm at the tail end now of almost being fully recovered. But since I went 2-2, I guess that was enough to drop my Fargo by another 4 points. So I'm currently at a 636. So I got to try to get back in gear and try to climb the ladder some more. Now, the only thing I know that I'm getting more off of straight pool that hopefully will apply into my 8-ball game and my 9-ball game is I'm a little bit more aware of the cue ball movement, and people might think, well, aren't you already aware of the cue ball movement? Well, of course, but I'm more aware now with like just about every time, like Demetrius said, that I was running into a ball, that was me doing it on purpose. Like that's how aware I am of moving the cue ball. Not all of them were on purpose, but a lot of them were on purpose. And so now, since he's saying don't do that as much, well, I know I'm more aware of what it takes to not do that, since I know how to do that. And because I'm able to maneuver the cue ball enough to where I can purposely run into a ball, that's certainly going to come in handy, like when I'm playing 9-ball or when I'm playing 8-ball, and I need to like develop the layout of the pattern, or to break out a clutter, especially that's necessary in 8-ball. So I always say, like, when you play each of these games, they all benefit from one another. If someone's just a straight 8-ball player, I always tend to say that they're usually a zone player, which means they'll play the cue ball into a specific zone, and because they know if they land in that zone, they have 3 options. The only difference is that when they land in that zone, they'll walk over to the table and then select what option they're going to take. Whereas if you start training in 9-ball, you're a bit of a zone player, but you're a zone player for one specific ball. So, and it's usually zone specific to where you want to be on the correct side of the shot line for the next ball, so that way you can start maneuvering around to the next ball and the next ball and the next ball. Well, after you start training that into your mindset, for me, that mindset has bled into my 8-ball game, to where I'm playing for a specific zone, but I'm playing for a specific zone for one ball, because I already know where the rest of the route is going to be. And I'm hoping to see that if I can apply any of the cue ball movements, the ball selection pattern, the breakout shots and stuff like that, that'll also bleed into everything else. Is anything I'm saying making sense, Demetrius?
Yeah, I just think about it like, 8-ball is a short game. A short game. I think about it like in 9-ball, there's a lot of the movements where you're coming multiple rails, moving your cue ball up and down table. 8-ball is a lot of short maneuvers, stop shots, roll shots, saw stuns, and a lot of one rail, a lot of no rail and one rail shape where you're moving anywhere from an inch or two to a couple feet. That's good 8-ball. So the thing about it though is getting better and better and better at those short movements. Like for example, if you're moving into a circle that's a 6-inch circle, if you can make that a 4-inch circle, that's life changing, for your game in straight ball. And the other thing about, so like, I think that the things you just get those little short maneuvers where you're just kind of like floating and picking up the right angles of this ball to get, just those little floaty short maneuvers get real tight with straight pool. The other thing is that the way you move balls around, like when you go back and watch this, you'll see the way you went into balls the first few racks that you played. It was hard, loose, just kind of like throw your cue ball into stuff and hope it turns out, and just kind of smashing stuff around and running into stuff. And a lot of times it was going into stuff in a way to where even if you smash into a group, you're hitting it in such a way to where only one ball's coming out of the pack. So hitting it harder doesn't really break them better. It just loses more control, whatever. Whereas like, then there's like the speed that you started going into the balls, like either you'd avoid going into balls unnecessarily, but when you needed to, you started like finessing them open and massaging them open and tickling them open with the right speeds. And I think when it comes to 8-ball, you could tell how good the player, like in 9-ball, the fastest way to tell how good somebody is playing 9-ball is to like well, you can watch the angles they leave themselves, and you can watch how they kick. Like that's like, you could always, even if somebody's struggling and playing bad, if you watch how they kick, you can usually tell what kind of player you're dealing with. Well, when it comes to 8-ball, you can tell who you're dealing with by the speed at which they move the balls. And it's like when they're going to clusters, if they're just, every time they have a breakout, they're like breakout, hard, hope to separate them and hope to get lucky. Like, or versus like, hey, I want to smooth them open. And they just, great 8-ball players just have a really a good speed sense where it's like they don't necessarily map out where every ball is going to end up, but they just kind of have a feel that this speed is going to just open them up without tying them all up with other open balls or freezing them all on the rail or bringing them all back together or taking too much chance. And so I think that with straight pool, you tighten up your short game a couple inches and you get really good at learning the right speeds to go into balls at, to kind of massage them open without losing control.
Whew. All right. Well, Demi, you got time for another set, and then
you know
we'll
what, man? I think I need to call it a night. That was
okay.
We're not quite at 3 hours, but the other thing is too, Chris, is we ended on a really high note. I mean, you had a 29 or whatever it was with Josh and I in your ear, and then you just posted a 34 that was about the cleanest run. I feel like we ended really well. You put in a hell of a session, and it's almost midnight, so I think I'm satisfied, man.
Okay, there's no issue with that. I'm gonna play a couple of more sets, but feel free to go ahead and call it a night. There's no issue with that. And then, like I said, I look forward to looking back through the racks where you and Josh were doing some commentary, and so that way I can look at the suggestions. And I already can try to make sure that I at least try to implement some of the stuff that you guys were mentioning, like when y'all were in my ear talking. And I'd have to say we'd have to do this again. I think this has been the most enlightening for me, at least for straight pool, for me to hopefully be able to start developing some good runs.
It was
on
a lot
top
of
of
fun.
having practice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm anything I can do to help, of course. And I'm looking forward to. I'm inspired with your getting in the ring and just putting yourself out there and attacking. And I wouldn't mind, like we talked about, I wouldn't mind trying something too. I'm scared. I'm scared because it's like everyone's like, "Oh, you're supposed to be a good player now." I've talked all this. I've ran my mouth for 3 hours, and now I'm going to get up there, and it's really, really tough. But I would love to try doing the same thing and hearing, having, So we'll talk about that. We'll figure something out.
For sure, but that's the same pressure that I deal with my reputation and being able to play when the camera's on. But I mean, I've done this long enough now to where I try to have some fun with it. Everybody knows that there are going to be days that I'm going to play really well, and there's going to be days that I'm going to play really bad. And people will pounce on the moments that you play bad to go like, "Oh, look at this guy," and then they won't even be around when you're playing good. So, like, I don't know, like it always.
Well, if any of those guys want to come to Texas and bring their bankroll, we can make a game.
There you go.
Yeah.
But this is great though. But like I said, Demetrius, thanks so much for being here. Josh, if you're still watching, thank you so much for stepping in. Also, like I said, hopefully we can do this again sometime. And we'll make sure that we schedule this way in advance so that one, it's also not so late in the evening. But we'll try to make things happen.
Sounds great, Chris. Do you want me to end the Zoom call, or does that interrupt your stream? Should I leave my computer running and just leave?
No, yeah, we can go ahead and end the Zoom call, and then I can just resume back to just using my my webcams and stuff.
Sounds great. All right, Chris, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for having me.
Yep, have a good
great
night, bud.
shooting, man. Great shooting. All right.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the advice.
All right, bye.
All right. So I am still going to play, and we're going to try to see if I can implement the things that they said. Like, look at that. I was 4 points shy from getting a new personal best. So I'm going to try a few more racks, and let's see what we can do. It was really, really interesting having both Josh and Demetrius in my ear while I was playing. But I mean, it obviously worked. Following their advice, the ball patterns and stuff, and it was actually kind of relaxing at the same time, if that makes sense. so at the very least, I'm going to try to remember the things that they were talking about. Try not to unnecessarily bump balls around, especially balls that can just go. So yeah, let's see what I can do. I'm already looking at the 12 ball as a break ball, and as I'm looking at this 7, I just want to make sure that I'm not going to bump into the 1. Because if I'm going to use the 12 ball as a break ball, then I might use the 2 ball in either side pocket to help set it up. Or even this 14 ball to set it up. Gotta be careful. Kind of wanted to drag back a little bit. I got an angle on the 1. Okay. All right, so not quite the angle that Josh was recommending. But an angle that does work. Now, this is where I have to start trying to make sure, do I not blast the cue ball into the rack and try to open it up? Do I just gently open it up? All right, so this looks like maybe it's a follow shot. And I might be able to move 2 rails to get out into the middle of the table. So this will be this hopefully should be the firm shot that Demetrius was talking about. Unless, of course, I miss. I think it's going to just thinking too much. Ah, so much for that. Or maybe it was just the wrong shot altogether. Since I just flat out missed. That's going to be something for me to really try to digest, and which is not blasting the cue ball into the rack, but really trying to use that medium firm stroke. Well, I have to use the 15 to break these three open. But the 2 is what might get me there. Oh, there goes the unnecessary bumping of balls again. Oh, I was actually worried that I was so close to the 8 ball that if I'd have tried to cut it any thicker, that I would have ended up moving the 8 and then just missed the shot altogether. So, that's a 6. So one thing y'all should be noticing is every time I come up front here, how everything gets all brighter. That's because the auto exposure on the camera, on the webcam, is turned on, and I have learned that if I turn it off, then the video feed actually gets a little choppy. So I have to do a little bit more research to figure out how to actually fix that. I've tried adding a little bit more lighting in here. That didn't seem to make a difference. All it does is make it hotter in here, even to where my mini split doesn't keep me cool. But I'll eventually figure it out, because I really don't like how it gets brighter when I step in front of the camera. Yuck. Hmm. This is where I might actually go ahead and try to do this just so I can maybe develop F5. Or the 9. Just took out my break ball by doing that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting much after that since I waited so long to deal with those. That's an 11. Let's see, what is this telling me? We recommend that you use an audio stream bitrate of 128 kilobits per second. So let's take a look. Audio. Don't see anything there. Oh, well. The audio stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. This shouldn't be at 0. It says 160. And it wants it to be lower. That doesn't make any sense. So never mind. I'm just going to leave that alone. All right. Let's make a few more attempts, and then we'll call it a night. Feel pretty good about that 34. Obviously wish it would have been higher, but I think we obviously still have some things to work on. I hope everybody was able to at least enjoy hearing Josh and Demetrius's commentary. Like I said, both of those guys are very knowledgeable in the game, more knowledgeable than I am. And I'm talking about the game overall, not just straight pool, just pool in general. Don't get flat on the 15. So I was actually trying to get position on the 7. I just didn't come out far enough. I think this might be far enough. Nope. Ah. Okay, whatever that was, -1, because that ball shouldn't have fell. That doesn't count. 3, 6, 8. So eventually, the goal would be nice to be able to, put up decent average scores. Like that would be one nice little goal, and not have like these runs of, I don't even get to the second rack, and then every once in a while I might put up a nice, a high 20 or a low 30, and like those happen every once in a while. I'd like to consistently, like I think a good short-term goal would be able to consistently put up those kind of numbers and not struggle just to get to the second rack like I have been. Well, all right. Sometimes in like under these conditions, I feel like I have no choice but to kind of bump a couple of balls here and there. Ooh, that was close. Should have thought about that more. Because now I'm liking the 2 ball as a break ball. Hmm. This is that's gonna be tough to hold. I might have to two-rail this. Well, too soft. Too soft. It's that fine line to where if I try to hit a little bit harder, then I might end up risking the shot, which I obviously don't want to do. All right, so this might take a touch of inside. I might be able to run into the second row. Well, there's a shot that I have to remember. And oftentimes I would begin to wonder, especially in a game like this, because I've said this before, to where you're more worried about the ending result than the current task at hand. And so, like in break ball situations, you have to be worried about you have to be worried about breaking the rack open. Otherwise, your run ends. At least in the format that I'm playing, because in a normal game, I would just play defensively. Okay, I'm actually going to want to get to those three fairly quickly if I can. Ooh, almost all of that pocket. So the 7 or the 3 right now look really good. I gotta be careful here. These are small windows now that I'm in. Man, I had the right idea, but I guess I have the 4 balls of backup. I'm supposed to get position on the 5. Oh, man, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. So like stuff like that, that's just me missing, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But that right there is also the, that's like to me the 90% shot, 90% chance shot that I'm not supposed to miss. And then there it was. But considering how long I've been playing, the numbers that I've been putting up and stuff, I'm actually okay with that miss. Well, since we have a combo that's wired, let's go ahead and take it out. Whew. Oh, let's see here. The 9 ball was going, and now it can't. Ooh, dreaded long shot. Yikes. Yeah, even if I would have made that thing, I'm surprised that the cue ball stuck to the rack like that, as steep as I was cutting it into it. And even if I would have made that shot, there's no telling what I would have done after that. But I'm at least liking that I'm getting to the second rack more often. I just gotta develop into the third rack. So let's try this again. I don't know. That's using the. I'm certainly not saying that I don't agree with what they're saying, but if I don't blast into the rack on the opening shot, so I just have to work on it. I just have to work on it. Because if I'm able to at least develop everything after that, then I should be in hopefully good shape. All right. I tell you what, I can totally look forward if Demetrius is going to start doing this on his 9-foot table that he has at home. What else do I do there? Like literally, what else do I do there? Okay, that's trying to take Demetrius's advice there and just not kind of firmly barrel through them. All right. If I shoot the 12, I run into those guys, which kind of needs to happen. I'm just not sure if I'm going to have a shot at the 9. 15 doesn't really go. Not sure if I'm going to have a shot at either of them if I bump into them, but this looks like the shot that I'm supposed to take. Is shooting the 8 just runs into the 3, and I don't know really what happens after that. Oh, never mind. I just missed altogether. Interesting. Interesting, to say the least. Hmm. Man, I wish that 15 ball would go, but it doesn't. I was kind of hoping the 6 ball would stop me so that way I can land right in the window for the 9 ball. Do I have a shot? I do have a shot. Okay. Whew. Oh, that didn't do anything I thought it was going to do. All right, I think the strategy here would be is if I can draw the cue ball into the rack, that way I can get ball in hand behind the head string, because I'm not getting positioned on the 2. The 2 is my break ball, and I don't think I can get position on it. Oh, and I don't think this isn't going to work. But hey, all right, that at least puts us there. Let's see what I got. Yeah, no bueno. No bueno there. All right, well, I've demonstrated this a couple of times. Let's see if I can do it on a live stream. 12 ball, cross side. Ah, so close. So close. Oh, so close. 28. All right, so that's at least reassuring. Yeah, the last four attempts have been decent to come up with the 28. So I'm at 25 attempts. I'm going on 3.5 hours. All right, I will make one more attempt. So at least my last 4 attempts have been decent. Like I said, this is the type of performance I can actually be okay with. You know, I'm not beating my personal best, but I don't feel like I'm shooting too terribly now, especially with the way that I started. Like, my goodness. It's like this is going to be that point where like this is normal, and I don't want to just catch a break, but I got to make sure everything is going the way I want it to go. Well, can't do that. Obviously can't do that. All right, so that counts as a 0, so that tanks my average. I bring it down to a 10. No, it stays at 11. Oh, why would you do that? Like, seriously. All right, I had no choice but to do that. So now let's try to really digest the rack. No real decent break ball. Maybe the 3 ball, maybe. Otherwise, the 7 ball would be a good one. I've yet to really try to use a side pocket shot for a break ball after the first rack. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. No. We're not going to do that. We're not ending on a note like that, even though I'm getting tired. Let the stubbornness start to kick in now. These are terrible openers. All right. I think the 6 ball looks really good. Didn't really have much of a choice there. That didn't go as expected. That changes everything. Man, all right. Ah. Okay. I think that's going to pretty much do it for tonight. What is that? 3, 6, 7. So that's an 8. Whew. All right. So for those that might be interested, here's what the night really looks like. I made a total of 27 attempts. In those 27 attempts, I was able to get through 40 racks, basically meaning that if I make that 14th ball, and I'm now in the second rack, so that means during that attempt, I'm actually on 2 racks, and then if I make the 28th ball, I'm now into the third rack, so that would be 3 racks, etc., etc. That's how I calculated the number of total racks that I've actually played with the total number of attempts that I've had. So between all of that, I was able to at least make 297 balls out of whatever 560 it looks like, 40 times 14. So still a little over 50%. I'd like to get up into the 60s and 70% if I can, averaging at least 11 balls. So all I can do now is hope that I can take the information that Josh and Demetrius were able to give me and implement the strategies accordingly, because I can admit the racks seem smoother and easier to play. And I've said that before, to where it's like if I choose the right patterns and I minimize my cue ball movement instead of playing it like I would a rotational game, then I should be able to put up better numbers, hopefully in the long run here. But at the very least, I was able to um, have a current best of 34 for the night, which was 4 shy of beating my personal best of 37. So hopefully next time I do my live stream, I hopefully can get higher than that. But really, not more I can say. I look forward to seeing what Josh and Demetrius had to say during the parts where I didn't have my earbuds in. I think that should be hopefully very interesting, hopefully very enlightening. And I'm also curious if they trolled me a couple of times. I think that just would be hilarious. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, just watching me struggle the way that I do. I think just all around just ends up making me a better player in the long run. I know I play better 8-ball and I play better 9-ball. But lately, I do feel like I've been in a bit of a slump. Like I said, I'm watching my Fargo rate slowly go in the direction that I don't want it to go in. But I mean, the only remedy to fix that is I got to play. I got to play and I got to compete. And with my regular 9 to 5, that makes it a little difficult to do sometimes. So I'm certainly not trying to make any excuses. I mean, it is what it is. So hopefully in due time we can maybe do something about it. And the way I explained it to Demetrius is that the way that I play here, like if I'm not performing well on my home table, then I don't expect to perform well in competition per se, because the only difference in my mind, besides pressure, right? There's the obvious pressure of playing an opponent, playing in front of a live audience if people are around watching the tournament. I mean, besides that, the only difference that I feel that should be between what I practice here at home and what I play in competition is that I'm going to be kicking more often, right? Because whenever my opponent doesn't have some sort of an out or accidentally safes me, then I got to perform some sort of kick shot. So unless and I don't really practice a whole lot of kick shots here unless maybe when I'm playing the ghost, or I mean I had one kick combo carom that I tried for a Hail Mary shot when I did that 34 or the 29 or something, I can't remember, but that's really it. But lately I don't feel that my practice sessions here on my table have been all that great. And like I said, the last time I played in that 9-ball tournament this past weekend when I started getting sick, I don't feel like I played all that great either. Going 2-2, and not because I went 2-2, is just when I evaluate the entire performance of that 2-2, it just didn't satisfy even my own requirements. So like even now, I didn't, like I said before, I didn't top my personal best, but I can say that those later part of the racks were satisfying. Like I was actually satisfied with the way that I was performing, and it's like I start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So if I continue playing the racks the way that I was doing there right towards the end, then I would hope to start seeing better progress. So that's that's what I'm hoping to do with all of this, because the only way to fix this is to practice, and then after practice, I have to be able to compete. And if all I'm going to do is practice and not compete, well, then I can't really expect my competition performance to go up. So I know that's the problem. Hopefully, sooner or later, I can actually really start to address it. I just got to make sure that work is obviously taken care of and priorities are taken care of. But that's pretty much it for the night. I want to thank everybody for being here. I see I got 83 likes. This is super freaking awesome. I do want to remind those that are at least here, or hopefully those that catch the recast, my Predator BK Rush break jump queue has dramatically slowed down. Like I think the performance has pretty much went down to a crawl. In the last 48 hours, it's only got 88 views. So I really do not know what to do other than to continuously advertise it, except I don't want to spam it. But I kind of feel like I have to if someone wants to win the queue. Because like I said, I'm not going to budge on, I want that video, I want that product review video to get 25,000 before I even consider giving it away. And at the rate that it's going to take a long time for it to hit 25,000 views. So I can only ask those that are currently watching, those that might be able to catch the replay of this, take a moment and go check that video out and see if, and then obviously share it to any of your social media sites and help me drive the views up. I probably will consider changing the thumbnail. I probably have to see about changing some of the tags to see if I can make it a little bit more discoverable or adding more tags to it. Not entirely sure, but I certainly can use everybody's help to help push that video along. And then on top of that, like I said, I'm sitting at 74,442 subscribers. When I get 75,000 subscribers, that's when I'm going to do my 75,000 subscriber milestone giveaway. That is what includes an entire poison package of cues. That's a 2x4 poison hard case, a poison jump break cue, and a poison arsenic playing cue. There will also be like a poison glove and a tube of predator chalk included with it. So that's, like I said, possibly 2 separate giveaways that could be happening almost simultaneously. But whichever one hits first, then that's the one that's pretty much going to happen. So keep that in mind, and like I said, help me get that video out to so that way I can give it away to a lucky subscriber, and then possibly review another queue, maybe even give that one away. But like I said, I'm not always going to give away queues that I review, but I can pretty much assert that most of the queues that I review, they will be giveaways. So thanks everybody for being here. I want everybody to have a good night. And if this is the first time you're seeing any of my live streams or any of my content, then considering subscribing to the channel, please give this live stream a thumbs up. And then don't forget to click the bell notification icon to be notified next time I go live, which I'll probably do in a couple of days. I'll probably give this another go, or anytime I publish a new video. So until next time, take care and have a good night.